The beautiful and the great village of Kanehagakure was under attack by something which is not human, nor can be considered a beast at all. It was for all intents and purposes a demon straight from the depths of hell. The village was now eagerly waiting to see what their beloved fourth Hokage would do against something like this. Speaking of the fourth Hokage, he was just spending some quality time with his newborn son. Yeah, right? What he was actually doing was sealing the nine-tailed fox into his only child. He wondered if it was worth sealing a life of hatred into someone that he loved so much. He looked around, and he saw an unimaginable horror. His people were dying, and many were crying over their pain or the loss of loved ones. He made his decision. It was the right thing to do. Son, I know you will be able to bear the hatred, because you are my son. Your mom is dying, so I will fill in for her. Remember to always eat your vegetables, and wear clean underwear. Train hard to be the best you can be. And remember that you were always love ***. Ed. Minato Namikaze said as he drew his last breath. This was the end of one of the greatest heroes in Konoha's history and a birth of a life of unimaginable hatred. However, he made one crucial mistake. He forgot to seal half of the fox into himself. Time skip. 5 years later. The beautiful village of Kanehagakure was enjoying its well-deserved peace. Everybody was laughing and enjoying their lives respectively. Well, except for a lonely boy of 5 years who was getting the shit kicked out of him. In a dark alley there was said boy getting kicked, stabbed, and bludgeoned. He would not cry or scream because he knows how futile it is. He would not let them see his suffering, for it would only seem to make them enjoy this session a bit more. These sessions would occur several times a week. This was the boy's daily routine. For he was so used to it he barely made any cries of agony anymore. Every morning he would wake up in a pool of his own blood, except the times his Jeiji, as he so affectionately called him, gave him some protection in the form of his Anbu. He would wash his face in the river and take a bath there, which is why he smelled like shit every day. He would then go to a rich restaurant and eat off their dumpsters, where he finds many leftovers that are deemed unworthy of such high-class people. Yeah, right, high-class enough to beat on a 5-year-old for fun, he thought bitterly. He never understood why he was hated, but he vowed to find out. They called him things such as monster or demon, but when he looked at his own reflection in the river, he did not understand why he was called such things. He never understood why they never wanted to play with him. After a while, he believed he was a monster. Some people refused to acknowledge his existence, and the ones that did, they would take their revenge as they called it. He called himself a ghost, for he was neither hated nor not acknowledged as a human being. A ghost, he thought, how could someone ever love me? However, that changed with his foster family that he thought was his long-lost family. The only people he cared about was his foster family, some girl who showed kindness to him, one particular Anbu that also took care of him other than protection, and his Jig, the third Hokage, for all the kids belittled him in order of their parents, and all the adults, well, the said girl mentioned was about 5 years older than him, and she bought him some dango. She was the first person outside of his family and in the village that treated him like a human being. She was the one that made him not lose all hope in the village. However, she had to leave to train with her sensei for a few years, and he never saw her again. If you thought his life is worse than a human could endure, you were right. For all intents and purposes, this boy was considered an evil incarnate, and nothing more. This foster family of his usually tended his wounds, for every time they tried to stop it, they would get a part of the beating too. This went on for a while until Naruto, the boy, told them to stop it. His family was the only thing keeping him sane. Someone to come home to, someone who loved him unconditionally. Before they came along, he was on brink of insanity. Whenever he was wounded, he was the only person who took care of the wounds, but most of them healed before he got to them. He did not know why this happened, but he is very fucking thankful for it. However, this would not last. For Kami just wants to fuck his life so much more. One day, everything changed because of the incident. Time skip. Night of the incident. Inoichi, I want you to remove all memories of the incident. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, said with disgust at the word incident. Right, but Hokage-sama, in order to seal everything that happened to him, I would have to seal a part of his intelligence. Inoichi, the leader of the Yamanaka clan, said, I don't care, But just to be sure, how much of his intelligence, so to speak? The third Hokage said. Air. 50% of it, more or less. He trailed off. 50%, he said, shocked. He would be stupid as a brick then. No, sir, his intelligence rivals my teammate, Shikaku's. Even with that much sealed, he would be a lot smarter than the average genin. It sort of frightens me what would happen if he had his whole intelligence. We would have someone as smart as or smarter than Shikaku by the time he would be 18. However, some of his real intelligence might start to show when he starts to graduate. Inoichi said. Ah, I see. Do it, he would be something akin to an Avenger if he had those memories. And with the Kyuubi, he could destroy this village. He said, while looking at the beaten boy in the hospital bed who was the topic of their conversation. Time skip. 6 years later. The boy's life didn't change much, or so he thought. The beatings still continued, but he thought no one loved him. His memories of the incident were completely sealed from his mind. He later joined the academy 2 years earlier than usual people so he could defend himself and be a good ninja someday. He would be disappointed because he never learned how to read, nor did the teachers even bother trying to help him. When he finally learned to read at 8, he was 2 years behind everyone. This was why he failed 2 times, and he is now with people his own age. First, he was ecstatic to make friends because in public places like children parks and the like, children would not go near him because of their parents. He was disappointed again, for they were also told not to even have any contact with him whatsoever. He met a kid with no parents who was a loner just like him. One day, he tried to approach him, but the kid, Sasuke Uchiha, did not want to associate himself with dobes and wanted to focus himself on training to complete his ambition. Man, why does he have a stick up his ass? We could have been friends and helped each other, he thought dejectedly. Next day, academy attendance 9 a.m. Naruto Uzumaki walked in the classroom and saw his future teammates. He knew most of the civilians would not pass in his class, but he knew which ones would pass. Of course, there was Uchiha Sasuke, a prodigy of what is left of the Uchiha clan. He was undoubtedly the best in their class, and with the council licking his ass, he would obviously pass. Next was Haruno Sakura. She was by all terms and definitions a bookworm, or a nerd, whichever you prefer. She was one of the best at written tests, second only to Sasuke. It was obvious they would pair her with a strong person and her to be the strategian of the team. Too bad they didn't know how she was in real life, and Naruto could tell in a tough situation, she would be absolutely useless. Next were Yamanaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, and Akimichi Chuji. It was obvious being clan heirs they would pass. They were also good at the basic ninja arts. Naruto knew Shikamaru was hiding his true potential. His father being one of the smartest men in the shinobi nations, he would be brilliant. Ino was a fangirl who would care more about her looks than ninja training, so enough said. Chuji was typical Akimichi, always eating and had a good heart. However, too good of a heart, for Naruto was sure he couldn't kill just for the sake of his village. And while he was a fatus * cough star, it was obvious the Sandaime would try to recreate the legendary Ino Shikacho formation of their parents. Next are Hyuga Hinata, Inazuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino. Hinata Hyuga was the heiress of the famed Hyuga clan. She was a kind person, well too kind to be considered a Hyuga. Naruto knew she had a crush on him and stalked him. You do not live the most of your life trying to run from people without enhanced senses. Kiba was a good guy, but a pervert. Naruto often saw Kiba ogling Hinata for she was an early bloomer cough. Hell, even Naruto himself couldn't look away when it was summertime and she gave that baggy coat to her guard and wore something tighter because it was too hot. Ahem, back to the point, Kiba always carried his master, his dog on his head. Next was Shino. He was a silent type, but he had good morals. He was loyal to his friends and had a good heart. However, Shino was usually ignored because he was creepy by their standards with all of his bugs. However, with Naruto's fears of getting rejected, he did not want to talk with them. Next was the enigma himself, Naruto. He always shouted about becoming Hokage to lift his spirits, because deep down he knows he will never be accepted and it was a cry for attention. His pranks usually brighten up the day to some people, but most of the time it would just lead to beatings. He had good morals. He would not steal nor kill. He was a true survivor at heart. Time skip. Graduation day. It was graduation day and Naruto was the last person to take the test. He went in the room to see Iruka smiling at him and Mizuki openly glaring at him. "Alright, Naruto. You need to do the 3 basic academy jutsu to pass, which are the Kawarimi, Bunshin, and the Henge," Iruka said. "Heh. Just you watch, Iruka-sensei. I'm going to be Hokage in no time," Naruto said enthusiastically. Iruka just smiled at this. He pulled off a good enough Kawarimi, and ahem, knocked the 2 instructors out with a well-endowed henge. However, he completely failed the Bunshin as there were 3 dead-looking clones on the floor in weird-ass bent poses. "You fail, Naruto," Iruka yelled out to cover up his embarrassment as he kept on thinking about the sexy jutsu. "Come on, Iruka. We can let him pass. I mean, he did well enough," Mizuki said with fake sadness. "No, we can't, that would be favoritism. I can't allow him to pass since he could not meet the requirements of being a ninja for Konoha," Iruka said with a hint of sadness in his eyes. Naruto was looking at them devastated. He failed for the 3rd time. He was a failure. Naruto was in his favorite ramen stand, but there was one thing off about him today. He did not touch the bowl of ramen in front of him, which was starting to get cold. The shop owner and his daughter knew today was graduation day, so it was obvious he failed. Knowing this, they decided to leave him alone for a bit, as he looked like he did not want to talk about it. Suddenly, Mizuki entered the stand. "Ah, Naruto, just who I was looking for. You know, you shouldn't be so sad." He paused, drawing breath as Naruto looked on intently to find out why he shouldn't be sad. "There is a second test that dropouts can do if it looks hopeless for them," Mizuki said with an almost invisible smirk. "Really?" Naruto said with a bit of hope. "Yeah, what you have to do is..." Mizuki then explained what he has to do for the test. "All right. Where is the scroll?" Naruto said as he searched for the scroll in the Hokage's room. Mizuki-sensei said it would be right here, Naruto exclaimed as he found what he was looking for. "Time to go to the place where he told me to meet him," Naruto said. "This is fishy. I mean, if it was a genin graduation exam, there wouldn't be the normal ANBU patrolling the place. It's just years of running that I was able to sense them. Hell, I am pretty sure at least half of them saw me approaching the tower. I hope no one saw me leaving the tower with the scroll, though. So I guess that justifies it. It was probably for show, right?" Naruto said with a bit of worry in his voice, like he was heading right to a trap. "This is the place. Let's start practicing," Naruto thought with enthusiasm. Naruto opened the forbidden scroll of sealing and saw the jutsus listed there. Having a photographic memory, he skimmed through most of the jutsu. The shadow clone technique should be good for me. Also, the exploding shadow clones would be good. What the fuck is Edo Tensei? Oh, that is disgusting. What else? Maybe I should just practice these jutsu for now." 2 hours later. "I have mastered the shadow clone technique, and I got the exploding shadow clone down, but I can't do it with more than 10 clones. But I can make 1,000 normal shadow clones," he said to himself as he noticed someone getting closer to the clearing where he was training. "Naruto, what are you doing?" Iruka said as he looked at the used-up clearing. He must have been training hard, he thought. "Hee, I found you, Iruka-sensei," Naruto said enthusiastically. "And oh, you idiot, I found you," Iruka screamed at Naruto. "Hee, I guess you did, Iruka-sensei," Naruto said. "Ah, what a touchy moment, Iruka Naruto," Mizuki said. "Mizuki-sensei, I learned a jutsu from the scroll, so now I passed the special graduation exam, right?" Naruto said as he beamed with excitement over the prospect of being a ninja. "Special graduation. What? Oh, I see." Mizuki wanted the scroll. But why? Iruka thought as looked on in between the conversation of Naruto and Mizuki. "Hey, Naruto, do you want to know why everybody hates you so much?" Mizuki asked. "Shut up, Mizuki. Don't, it's forbidden," Iruka screamed. "No. Iruka-sensei, I want to know," Naruto said as the last part became a whisper but both heard it clearly. "As you wish, the nine-tailed fox." He paused as Naruto began fitting the pieces together. The yondaime could not kill a beast as strong as the Kyuubi, so he sealed it into a newborn child, In other words, you. Mizuki screamed. I see, Naruto said as he was on the brink of a nervous breakdown. The memories of the beatings came back and the harsh words right behind it. He started to cry as he was reminiscing. He forgot to see the windmill shuriken coming towards him. No, I will not cry, he thought as looked up and stood frozen in fear of the giant shuriken heading towards him before he closed his eyes to brace for impact. Squelch. However, he felt something on his face, and no pain whatsoever. He looked up to see Iruka crying. Then, he looked at the blood of Iruka on the floor. He started to feel hazy. He closed his eyes to get rid of the feeling. But when he looked again, he saw a shady person he did not recognize in a pool of his slash or her own blood. Before he could blink again, he was back in the real world. I know how it feels like, Naruto, how it feels like to be alone. I was an orphan, but remember I do not see you as a demon, but my student, Iruka said as he crying. Naruto's pupils then zoomed out as he remembered everything that was happening. Mizuki telling him about the special exam, him betraying Konoha, and hurting what was one of the most precious people in his life. You hurt Iruka-sensei, Mizuki. I will make you pay, Naruto said as his eyes were shadowed by his hair. Let's see you try, demon brat, Mizuki screamed. Mizuki throws his second windmill shuriken at Naruto, who just stood there as took the hit. Poof! Mizuki's eyes bulge out for a second as he looked at the dead last of the academy creating solid clones before he felt an air pressure behind him. He looked behind in time to see Naruto rearing his right fist for a punch. Mizuki ducks and does a spin kicks at Naruto, who poofs away in smoke, hindering his vision. Then he feels a foot kicking him in the chest, making him fly out into the air. I didn't even sense him near me. What the hell? Mizuki thought as he was sailing through the air. Naruto jumps on the back of the unsuspecting Mizuki. However, what surprises Mizuki is that this Naruto was glowing before he blows up. The other Naruto sees the splinters of wood coming out of the explosion. Realizing it was a kawarimi, he is instantly on guard. Hearing a distinct buzzing sound and instantly realizing what it is, he creates a shadow clone to throw him out of the explosion of the explosive kunai. Naruto coming into the clearing sees weird black markings all over Mizuki's body. He gives a questioning glance at the markings, as if asking for an explanation. Ha! This is the power Orochimaru-sama gave me. You will never defeat me, Mizuki screamed. Naruto, just run with scroll. If he is working with Orochimaru, he is stronger than you, Iruka screamed with genuine concern for his student as he desperately tried to stand again, but failing for the shuriken in his back. I never back down, Iruka-sensei. Just watch me beat this guy, Naruto said with confidence running through his eyes. Mizuki ran at Naruto with a right hook, and seeing the great increase in his speed, Naruto creates a clone at the last second to take the hit, which makes him start to glow a white color. Mizuki seeing this widens his eyes in surprise and in fear of what was going to happen. Mizuki's momentum of the punch was too fast to slow down and run the other direction or do anything for that matter. Before he knew it, the clone blew up, sending him flying through the air once more. Naruto seeing the flying man on a collision course to a tree, he creates a shadow clone that he throws at Mizuki. Right after Mizuki hits the tree, his stomach meets the foot of Naruto's clone, which makes him cough up blood. However, his eye widened when seeing the clone glowing once more. In a flash, it was over. Mizuki then flies back, destroying the tree. Naruto checks his pulse and sees he is still alive, but he is unconscious. Well, got to thank myself that I can't do the exploding ones properly or he would be dead, Naruto thought. Iruka was bewildered at the level of skill shown by Naruto. Naruto, come here, I have to give you something, Iruka yelled. What is it, Iruka-sensei? Naruto said. Close your eyes, Naruto, Iruka said. Naruto then felt something on his forehead and hands tying said something to the back of his head. Naruto opened his eyes to see a headbandless Iruka smiling at him. Realizing what has happened, he jumped in joy in the prospect of being a ninja. Time skip, Day of Teams. /N, the same teams as the anime, I will skip to the bell test. Naruto was feeling good about this test. He mastered the shadow clone technique to the point of making one good clone that could take hits, but he wanted to keep this a surprise. Also, he can use more than at least 50 exploding shadow clones before he would run out of chakra. Now back to what Kakashi was saying about the test. Your objective is to get these bells from me by noon, Kakashi Hatake said with an eye smile. But, sensei, there are only 2 bells, Sakura said as she was inspecting the bells. That's right, which means only 2 of you will pass, and the other will be sent to the academy and forced to see the others eat lunch while they are tied to a log. Oh right, this test has a 66% failure rate, so it will be very hard for you guys to pass on your own, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Begin, Kakashi said. Everybody quickly hid. However, after a while, Naruto came out of a tree. Heh, this waiting thing is not my style. Get ready, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said, to which Kakashi I smiled too. Damn dope. Thinking he can be cool, Sasuke thought as he was planning his next moves. He is just trying to be cool, stupid baka. Maybe after he gets beaten up, Sasuke-kun will beat Kakashi-sensei and pass the test for us too. The thoughts of Sakura then trailed off to some very mature things. Impatient, are we? Kakashi said as he reached into his kunai pouch and pulled out a book, which made Naruto grit his teeth in anger of the prospect of being underestimated. Naruto charged at Kakashi with rather impressive speed with a right hook, which Kakashi dodged by leaning to the left. However, Kakashi saw Naruto doing a hand seal before 4 clones along with Naruto pop out surrounding him. With the experience of a veteran ninja, he is able to knock out 2 clones by dodging and punching when they came close. The 3rd clone charged and went for a sweep kick that Kakashi jumped over, but his eyes widen when he sees a clone there waiting for him with a right hook. Kakashi caught his fist and smashed him onto the other clone that dispelled in poofs of smoke. However, out of the smoke came Naruto, who gave a roundhouse kick to Kakashi's face, which he blocks, but still got blown away by. I can't even read my book. This is not supposed to be a fresh out of the academy genin, Kakashi thought. Seeing his rather impressive taijutsu, Kakashi quickly put his book in his pocket. Naruto then charged again and went for a left jab, which Kakashi dodged. Naruto then went for a roundhouse kick, which Kakashi ducks under, and then Naruto spins his whole body for a sweep kick, which Kakashi jumps over. Then he hears the sound of a kunai approaching, which he dodges, and counters by throwing his own kunai in the direction of the first kunai. Then Kakashi dispels the clone underneath him with a kick. However, the kunai that was thrown at him transformed into Naruto, who throws another kunai, which turns out to be another Naruto, which punches Kakashi, but Kakashi blocks. Seeing Naruto glowing, his eye widened. In an instant, Kakashi uses a replacement jutsu to protect himself from the explosion. While this was happening, 2 clones of Naruto came and asked them if they wanted to team up and get the bells. He got a punch from Sakura, and I don't need help from a dobe from Sasuke. Enraged by the so-called dobe outclassing him, Sasuke springs into action. Once Kakashi gets out of his hiding place, Sasuke starts to do hand seals. Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Fireball Jutsu. Kakashi eyes widen at the thought of a genin doing that technique before he just seems to be engulfed by the fireball, which gets a smirk from Sasuke, but a frown when the target reveals itself to be a log. Sasuke then charges at Kakashi as soon as he appears. Sasuke goes for a right hook, which Kakashi catches. Then he tries to kick his head, which he also catches. Using his other free foot, he tries to kick Kakashi again, which he blocks with his leg. Seeing Kakashi immobilized, Sasuke goes for the bells. He couldn't reach it and he is thrown off. However, neither sees the shadow under the bells where a stray kunai was lying there. Kakashi, not noticing it, kept on fighting with Sasuke. He then looked around for his student before he dodged a kunai coming at him. He sees Sasuke coming out of the bush from where the kunai was thrown. His hands were also in the infamous tiger seal. Katan, Hausenka no Jutsu, Fire Release, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. This time there is no logs, so Sasuke is confused as to why there is no logs because he doesn't see Kakashi dodging the volley of fireballs. Just then, he feels 2 hands grab his feet and pull him into the ground. Nice try, Sasuke, but not good enough, Kakashi says with an eye smile. Kakashi then spots Sakura hiding in a nearby spot. He then smirks and prepares for his next move. Machen, Narakumi no Jutsu, Demonic Illusion, Hell Viewing Technique. Sakura then feels a bit dizzy before she finds herself in a different place than where she was hiding. She looks around and spots the deformed body of Sasuke. "Sasuke Kun!" she screams shortly before she passes out. "I wonder where Naruto is. He did show exceptional skill in this test," Kakashi thought. "Oh well, the test should be over any minute now anyway." "Rewrite. Alright, now I have to free Sasuke. And I have to wake up Sakura," Kakashi thought with a sigh as he could not get much reading done because of the exceptional skill of his students. 15 minutes later. "Team, you did well, but you have failed. Don't worry. I will give you one more chance after you finish your lunch. Sasuke, Naruto, remember not to feed Sakura," Kakashi said with an eye smile as he looked at the tied-up Sakura, the brooding Sasuke, and the unusually calm Naruto. "Not necessary, sensei," Naruto says as he pulls out 2 bells from his kunai pouch. Everyone watched with amazement as he pulls out 2 bells that jingle, and Kakashi's, after inspecting them, does not. "But how?" Kakashi said with his one eye widened. The 2 bells on Kakashi's hand poof into smoke, and Naruto stands there with an impassive look on his face. "Figure it out yourself. Something the dobe is able to do should not be confusing, right, Sasuke?" Naruto said with a smirk as Sasuke grit his teeth in anger. "So, who will you give the bells to?" Kakashi asked Naruto with an eye smile, hoping he figured out the objective of the test. "Here," Naruto said as he tossed the bells to Sasuke and Sakura, both of which were looking at him wide-eyed. "I will fight for my position on the team," he added with determination blazing in his blue eyes. "No, it's all right, you all pass. Team 7 will start its missions from tomorrow. Try not to be late," Kakashi said before puffing into smoke. "Time skip, wave mission. Let's go. Our first C-rank mission. This ought to be good," Naruto yelled, and for once his teammates agreed with the hyperactive blonde. A month doing chores and chasing the Hellcat Tora does that to a person. However, they were disappointed as they were just walking for a long while without any disturbances whatsoever. This would not last very long, for Naruto with his heightened senses could smell people and could see a puddle even though it hasn't rained in days. "What's going on? Kakashi-sensei is an elite jounin, he would not fall for a trap like this. Am I overthinking this? It does not smell like urine, so it definitely is a genjutsu of sorts. Of course, he wants to see what we would do in our first battle. Heh. Come at me, bros," Naruto thought with a smirk. Out of the puddle came 2 ninjas with a chain attached to their arms, and said chain wraps around Kakashi, and in a gruesome display that the team looked away for, Kakashi was ripped to shreds. "1 down, 3 to go," said one of the nins. They then proceed to hurl their chains at the group of genin and their client, Tazuna. "Sasuke, stand down. I will take care of them," Naruto said as he looked at Sasuke, who was about to charge, begrudgingly stepped down. Then, Naruto created a clone who charged at the chain, taking the hit, but instead of blood, Naruto was glowing. Seeing this, the brothers jumped away from the blonde after separating themselves from the chain. After the clone blew up, the real Naruto came out of the bushes. The younger and rasher of the 2 brothers directly charged at him. Seeing this, the elder one followed. The younger brother tried to kick Naruto, but he grabbed it, stabbed his thigh with a kunai, and did a roundhouse kick on his face while still holding onto his leg. Then he proceeded to throw the one he was holding at the elder one, who was forced to catch him. After he did so, the brother noticed an explosive tag on the kunai. He quickly tugged it out and threw it away from them, but they were still caught in the blast radius, knocking them out cold while Sasuke and Sakura protected the client. "You can come out now," Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said as he was still looking at unconscious forms of the Akuma brothers. "Well, I see you have noticed me, Naruto, and a brilliant plan indeed, if I may say so. Anyways, Tazuna, would you mind explaining why there are chunin-level ninja after you? Because they were not after me for the bounty," Kakashi said with a serious face for once. Tazuna then proceeded to explain what has been happening in Wave. Tazuna was a bridge builder that was going to build a bridge so they could be connected to Hainokuni and trade with others. They were poor and in a crucial state. Tazuna then begged them to help him so Wave can be as glorious as it once was, so Gato could not have control over it. Gato wanted them to be cut off so he could rule the place. "I say we help them, Kakashi-sensei. If we turn our back on them now, I could never call myself a ninja ever again. Naruto said. I agree, said Sasuke. Sakura nodded in approval of what Sasuke said like a lost puppy and her master. Then it is settled. We will help Tazuna, Kakashi said. I cannot thank you enough, Tazuna said. Your men failed, Zabuza. You better make sure they die or I will not pay you at all, Gato said, false bravado. Relax, I will go personally this time. I will make sure they die, Zabuza said. /N. I'm sorry, but I will skip to the fight on the bridge because everything else is the same as the anime. Except Naruto did not oversleep on the day of the fight. Naruto and the others were walking towards the bridge when suddenly the surrounding area became misty and a figure could be seen lying in a pool of his own blood. He is a true demon, the man said before he died. Ah, so you have come Sharingan no Kakashi. I will enjoy this fight with you. This time it will be different, Zabuza said as he was maliciously glaring at Kakashi. I have brought my accomplice with me so your little brats won't interrupt this time. Sakura, protect the bridge builder. Naruto, Sasuke, take care of the accomplice, Kakashi said as he lifted his headband to reveal his Sharingan eye. Sasuke then charges at the masked Nin now identified as Haku. Before he even gets close enough to attack, Haku quickly jumps away and launches a barrage of senbon at Sasuke. Sasuke jumps out of the way, but not before getting a few senbon stuck into him. Damn it, Sasuke. Don't charge head-on like a maniac, Naruto yells out to him before creating a few shadow clones. I have a plan, Naruto said with determination. Follow my lead. Naruto making eye contact with Sasuke. Right? Sasuke said looking a bit doubtful. Naruto quickly tries to surround Haku using him and his 4 clones. Seeing this, Haku goes through hand seals at a fast rate. Hayutan. Senshatu Suisho. Ice release. 1,000 needles of death. Haku rapidly fires a lot of ice needles at the clones, who are too slow to dodge, dispelling them. The real Naruto, seeing the hand seals, instantly jumped back to avoid the deadly needles. I will need more than upfront shadow clones and exploding ones to penetrate through this Haku's defenses. Alright, new plan. What could I do? Naruto thought as he analyzed his opponent carefully. Haku wasted no time to think and charged at Naruto with 5 senbon on each hand. Haku threw 5 senbon at the standing Naruto, who then jumped into the air. However, before Haku could follow Naruto and try to get a hit on him, she heard a voice behind her. Katan. Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique, Sasuke yelled. Haku could not dodge, and it seemed like she was engulfed by the fire. However, they were disappointed as Haku turned into a burning log. Sasuke then heard the whizzing noise of projectiles sailing through the air behind him. Hearing this, Sasuke jumped. However, he was too slow as 2 senbon in the back. Naruto seeing this goes to Sasuke to see if he is alright. Stop getting hit, genius, Naruto said mockingly as he gazed at the senbon in Sasuke's back. Shut up, dobe, Sasuke said as he grits his teeth when he pulled the senbon out of his back. Alright, I need to figure out how this Haku fights. She can take out a vast number of clones with those ice needles, so that's not an option. She is experienced, so the exploding ones she will probably see through, then Kawarimi herself with something. What can I do? Aha! Naruto said as he analyzed his opponent. Naruto throws an explosive kunai at Haku's feet. Haku, seeing this, jumps to avoid the blast. However, within the smoke of the explosion 5 clones emerged from the smoke surrounding Haku. However, Haku, showing great skills and flexibility, threw senbon while maneuvering her in the air to dispel all the clones. To her great surprise, 2 more clones came out of the smoke parallel to each other. Haku threw senbon at the 2 clones. One of the clones used the other one as a human shield, blocking all of the senbon, before kicking the clone to get himself close to Haku. Haku's eyes widen as the clone that took the hit did not dispel immediately. Then the clone started glowing. Haku sees this before her eyes widen. Boom! Before she creates an ice shield to protect herself at the last second. However, the explosion being at point-blank range, she is hurtled to the ground with impressive force before she hits the ground with a thud. Before she can fully recover, She sees Sasuke going through hand seals while smirking. Katan Housenka no Jutsu, fire release, phoenix flower technique, Sasuke yells. Haku then dodges the volley of fireballs heading her way with acrobatic feats of tremendous proportions. /N. You know where I am going with this. She was panting a bit because of her exhaustion and slight burns on her clothes and some skin because of the explosion. I see I have to get serious with you too, Haku says with an emotionless tone as she starts going through hand seals. Makio Hyosho, demonic ice mirrors. Kakashi's fight with Zabuza. It seems your two brats are eager to die, Kakashi, Zabuza said with a cynical smile. They won't be the ones dying here today, Zabuza, Kakashi said with a challenging tone as he lifted his headband. Enough talk. I have waited a week for this rematch. Let's fight, Zabuza said as he charged at Kakashi with his sword. Kakashi took out a kunai as he was waiting for the clash between him and Zabuza. Zabuza swung his sword in a horizontal motion from right to left, which Kakashi ducked under, before going for a diagonal slash to cut Kakashi in two. Seeing this, Kakashi jumped back. Zabuza charged at Kakashi doing quick slashes trying to make Kakashi get a grave injury with Zabuza's massive sword. However, Kakashi just dodges all of the strikes before jumping back to create some distance between him and Zabuza. After that, Kakashi charged in with his kunai. He did quick horizontal slashes with his kunai, which Zabuza dodged, before coming into a clash with Zabuza's sword. Then, Zabuza jumped back and started going through hand seals. I won't let you use that cursed eye to dodge anymore, Kakashi, Zabuza said as he finished his hand seals. Sudaion. Kirigakure no Jutsu, water release, hidden mist technique. A thick dense mist covered the area that rendered Kakashi's Sharingan useless. Seeing the dense mist, he instantly strained all his senses into finding Zabuza. As he was doing this, he felt an air pressure behind him and the whizzing sound of Zabuza's sword. Kakashi quickly turns around and sees Zabuza in mid-swing trying to cleave Zabuza in half. Kakashi quickly jumps back from getting cut, before throwing a kunai at Zabuza, who turned into water. Mizu Bunshin, Kakashi thought. If you can't see me, Kakashi, your Sharingan is virtually useless. All I have to do is cover my tracks and you are as good as dead, Zabuza said in a maniacal tone. After a while of this, Kakashi was growing tired. Dodging Zabuza's sword and his Mizu Bunshins were beginning to get tougher than Kakashi thought it would. With the mist, it added to his problems. If only he could keep track of him somehow, maybe put something onto him. He got a plan. After he made his plan, he saw Zabuza behind him already in mid-swing. Kakashi tried to jump back, but he could not get out of the sword's massive range in time, or so Zabuza thought. He got a slash across his chest as a result. Zabuza then smirked and disappeared in the mist, thinking it would be easier to kill the injured Kakashi. However, he heard something that surprised him. Kuchiyose no Jutsu, summoning technique. Before Zabuza knew what was happening, he was bitten by dogs of various sizes in areas that made him impossible to move. Then he heard the sound of lightning cackling. It's time to end this, Zabuza. Die, Kakashi said as the lightning cackled louder. Raikiri, lightning blade. Back with Naruto and Sasuke. Once both of them got trapped in the ice dome, everything went downhill. All they could do was survive as long as possible because Sasuke Fireball could do nothing to the mirrors, and Naruto's exploding clones only leaves a dent which regenerates within a few seconds. Naruto even tried a chain of explosions in one area, but he couldn't do more than 5 because of their limited space. The ice got a few cracks in it, but it didn't break and regenerated soon thereafter. Now we find both of them resembling living pincushions being attacked by Haku from all sides, and them desperately trying to dodge them, with Sasuke having more luck with his unlocked Sharingan. However, when Haku was trying to finish off Naruto, Sasuke took the hit. Why the hell did you take the hit, Sasuke? Naruto yelled. I don't know, my body just moved on its own. Dobe, I need to ask you something. If I die, I want you to kill my brother, Itachi Uchiha. If I die before he does, I entrust my goal onto you. Naruto, because I trust you the most, Sasuke said, and for a moment Naruto saw someone else who he couldn't recognize was lying in a pool of his blood. Naruto seeing one of his only potential friends die on their first mission made him see red. All he wanted to do right now was to kill Haku. His body started glowing red and the silhouette of a fox appeared above him. He then charged at Haku's reflection on one of the ice walls. He punched the ice mirror, and to both his and Haku's shock, the ice broke and he punched through it to Haku. Haku tried to block, but was too slow. She took the hit and flew back with tremendous force and crashed into the ground. Naruto then appeared in front of her and smashed his fist into her mask, which instantly broke. However, seeing who he was attacking, he stopped his attack. "I killed what seemed like your best friend, and you are letting me live?"
Haku question.
"I don't know what to think anymore, or do for that matter," Naruto said as he kept gazing from his dead teammate and Haku. "Kill me. I am no use to my master anymore. I have no reason to live," Haku said. "How can you say that?" Naruto yelled. "Because he gave me a reason to live." Haku then explained her story of what happened in her life until Zabuza came along. "I see, but it is not worth throwing your life away for. You could come with us to Konoha or something. You could have a life. I have seen the way he looked at you when you guys arrived at the bridge. He wants you to be happy, and it's killing him that you are forced into his kind of life," Naruto explained to her, which made her eyes widen. "Do you really think so?" "No, I could not abandon my master," Haku screamed as she desperately tried to stop the flowing of her tears. However, she heard lightning cackling outside and went to look at what had happened. She was too late. She saw the dogs biting into her master's limbs, immobilizing him. She saw the hand covered with lightning through his chest. She broke down and ran to her master. Kakashi, seeing her broken face, just pulled his hand out and stepped away from Zabuza. "Haku, now you can finally be free," he said with a smile. "You can go with them to Konoha and have a good life there. Konoha treasures bloodlines and would love to accept you as you are not an official ninja of the mist. Please try to be happy and take my sword with you. And Naruto, please try to take good care of her," he said and added the last part as he saw Naruto soothing Haku while she was crying in his chest. Then the life left his eyes and he fell limp on the ground dead. "Well, what a touchy moment. Good thing he dies. I never wanted to pay him anyway," Gato said as he appeared on the scene. You made Haku, Tazuna, and the rest of this village suffer so much. Just for money? Grr," Naruto said as he started growling at the end and a red hue started to pour out of his body and a massive killing intent washed over the area. "I have to stay in control. I can't lose control," Naruto chanted over and over in his head.
Hokage Bunshin no Jutsu.
The bridge was filled with Narutos all pouring the red chakra ready to kill their opponents. Seeing this, most of the bandits shit their pants while the others were already running for their lives. The clones then charged at what was remaining of the army while the real Naruto cornered Gato. "Please, I can give you anything. Money, girls, you name it, and I can give it to you. Please just show mercy," Gato pleaded. "Can you bring back Zabuza, Kaiza, or all the people you killed? I didn't think so, but you are going to give all the money you have to the villagers. As for the punishment, I am just going to give you to the villagers and they can decide what to do with you," Naruto said as he threw Gato over the bridge and gave them to the villagers who came a few seconds earlier to fight. The villagers all looked at him with an evil glint in their eyes before they took him with them to wherever they were going, but not before him giving them all his money and trades. By this time, most of the bandits were all not here, dead, or unconscious. Naruto then passed out from overexerting himself. Chapter 2. After everybody recovered from their fight with Zabuza and Haku, they left for the village. They also found out Tazuna was going to name the bridge the Great Naruto Bridge, which Kakashi and Naruto laughed at, and got insults from Sasuke and Sakura. Many times, Sasuke and Sakura, mainly Sasuke, wanted to kill Haku or make her a hostage. Naruto, though, stood up for her and said that she never attacked in her own will. She was just following orders. He said that he would be responsible over her and if she tried anything, he would take the blame. After they get back to the village, they go to the Hokage Tower to give their mission report. Kakashi tells the Hokage what happened over the mission. The Hokage is surprised over what the team endures in their first C-rank mission. "You will all get an A-rank mission's pay, because with the enemies you faced, it was definitely an A-rank mission. The Hokage then looked over at Haku. You will have a 6-month probation period where you cannot leave the village at any point at time. You are also required to do a minimum of 20 D-rank missions each month. You cannot attack anybody in the village, and all the rules of regular villagers apply to you. After this period, you will be promoted to the rank of chunin and will start to do missions. The Hokage said. Okay, I agree to those terms. But where will I stay? Haku asked. I can clear a place for you in about a few days, but you will have to wait for it. The Hokage said. You can stay with me, Haku. Zabuza did tell me to take care of you, Naruto said while looking at Haku. Oh, are you sure it's okay? Haku asked as she blushed at the take care of her part. Yeah, it's fine, Naruto said. Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, I need to talk to Kakashi. Naruto, take Haku with you and get her acquainted. The Hokage then waited for them to go out of the door. Kakashi, I want you to wait for everybody else because you're always 3 hours late. The Hokage deadpanned. After a while, a lot of the jounins of Konohagakure came in the room. All right, I want the jounins that think their teams are ready to fill out this form so they can take the exams that is 1 month from now. The Hokage said. A lot of the jounins signed their teams up for the chunin exams. However, what surprised most of them was that this year's rookie senseis signed all of their teams up. This got commotion running through the room about whether those rookies were ready. Are you sure about this, Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai? The Hokage asked. Yes, we are sure. They all said simultaneously. Did you hear? My brother told me that that demon is nominated for the chunin exams. One of villagers said. Yeah, I know. We can't let the demon have any authority in this village. Another said. Hey, I know. Let's organize a demon hunting session tonight. Another said. Yeah, sure, but I heard he's actually a good ninja. We might have to hire some ninjas to help us. The first one said. Dude, I'm pretty sure those non-emotion ninjas still hate the damn demon. All we need is some money, and they would be volunteering to help us. The second one said. Yeah, this is good. We will finally finish what the fourth started and kill the damn thing. The third person said. This was the basic villagers' talk of the day. How the demon was advancing in the ninja ranks and how to get rid of him. Naruto just dropped off Haku at his apartment and let her have her personal space and take a room. Although there was only one bedroom, he hoped Haku would not notice and just take his room and he would take the couch. She was the only one who actually talked to him in a friendly manner, so he was ecstatic of her living there. He just came back from the mission, and he was feeling hungry, so he tried to go to Ichiraku's. He was tired from the long journey back and wanted to just relax as he doubted he could do anything else. Along the way, though, he heard the footsteps of a group of people or a mob. He turned around and saw a group of people running towards him with various weapons. What really surprised him was the 3 jounin leading the mob. Seeing the jounin-level ninja, he instantly started running. He created a group of 10 Kage Bunshin trying to confuse them. However, the jounin saw right through this and threw numerous kunai at the clones. One by one, they all dispelled. Naruto tried to sneak up on one of the ninja, but the ninja quickly blocked his fist and stabbed him in the thigh. Naruto, thinking he wouldn't be sensed, had his eyes widened in surprise before the kunai was thrust into his thigh. He bit his lip as to not scream. Damn, I can't even run away now. I thought I could take out one of them and run during the confusion. I severely underestimated them just because I thought a jounin would fall for the same trick Mizuki fell for. Why didn't I create a clone to attack? Naruto thought in desperation. Before he knew what was happening, he was hurled through the air and his back met the knee of the other jounin, who stabbed him in the other leg near the knee. This time he cried out in pain and fell on the ground. Then he started to get hazy, but he was held up by a jounin, and what felt like a needle was plunged into him. This drug is one of the pride and joys of an interrogator. It forces you to stay awake during the whole torture session. This way, you can't become unconscious. You will just have to bear all the pain as you die. One of the jounins said before he let him fall on the ground and signaled the villagers to start, and the jounins left so the Hokage would not know their part in this. The villagers then proceeded to maim, beat, and stab him. One of villagers ripped out the kunai on his right thigh and stabbed him there again over and over again. Others started to kick him in the head. Another used his half-broken alcohol bottle to stab him in his stomach, while others started to throw sharp things at him. After a while of this, Naruto had lots of bruises and cuts littering his skin like a form of second skin. He had 2 bloody legs with deep cuts and a bottle in his stomach. Then, Naruto's body started to give out a red hue. In Naruto's mind, however, it was a whole different story. The Kyuubi's chakra was discharged in large amounts and in its full potency because of the life-threatening situation that needed to heal, and it somehow broke the seal and all the memories came rushing back to him. His foster family, the incident, everything came back to him, forcing him into a state of emotional turmoil. He just lived through a month's worth of torture and emotional stress within minutes in the real world. Now, he was not so sure he still wanted to protect and help this village. Back with what was happening to Naruto. Before the villagers knew it, Naruto was attacking them, killing most of them in brutal but efficient ways like stabbing his claws into a person's heart or other vital areas, scratching people across his or her neck. People who were at a distance from him started to run saying things like, "The demon is back," and the like. Before their cries of help could be heard, Ninja appeared in front of them and knocked them out. Then, the Hokage put a seal on Naruto's forehead, with speed an old man shouldn't be able to possess, which made the red hue pour back into his body. However, what really surprised everybody was the white glow emitting from the young blonde's body. Naruto then proceeded to feel unimaginable pain all throughout his body, like he was growing in seconds or something. "Ah! What's happening to me? Why does it hurt so much?" Naruto yelled before a flash of light covered his form. The new Naruto then stood in front of them, which made their jaws drop to the ground. The man was now standing at a height of 5'6", which was really tall for a 12-year-old. He had huge muscles that bulged out, tearing his orange jumpsuit, but he wasn't too bulky. He had an athletic, muscular build. His blonde hair had grown a bit more, so he had bangs covering the side of his face. His blue eyes shined for a moment before turning back into the regular blue again. What happened? Naruto trailed off before passing out from exhaustion as the transformation somehow healed his wounds. Naruto's mindscape. How could they do that to me? I knew those people I kept on seeing dying was real. I sometimes just want to kill them all, just like they killed my family. Why? Why was I chosen to be sealed into? I want to hate the fourth, but I just end up hating the villagers. He did the right thing, right? Saving his village. Who am I kidding? He just damned me to this life. What should I do? Do I stay in the village or leave this piece of shit called a village? Naruto thought as he found himself in an unfamiliar area resembling something close to a sewer. So my jailer has finally come to visit me. Have a nice life in the village? A voice said mockingly. Naruto then turned his head to the direction of the voice. He saw a huge fox with 9 tails, red slitted eyes, and humongous teeth right against the cage in front of him, which almost made him have a heart attack. Then he realized who it was. He instantly started to get angry and his eyes were beginning to become slitted for a moment before turning into a purplish color. No need to get so defensive. I was just pushing your buttons and crap. I know, to you humans, I am a demon and all, but even our kind couldn't even think of doing things like that to a child, no less. The Kyuubi said, and Naruto's eyes softened and returned to normal at this and tears were threatening to fall. I don't know what to do anymore. Should I stay or something? Do I even need to live? Naruto asked to himself. It seems my predecessor has had a bad life. Another voice said, which made both of them turn their heads in the direction of the voice. There was a man with weird purple eyes with concentric circles and a coat that covered his entire body. There were 6 magatamas on his coat and 6 ones on his weird staff that he carried. Old man, what are you doing here? Kyuubi asked. Naruto here is going to be the next sage. The aforementioned old man said, which got a gasp from the Kyuubi. Wait, what is going on here? Naruto asked. Do you know who the Rikudo Sannin is? Kyuubi asked, which got a shake of his head from Naruto. All right, sit down. This is a long story. Kyuubi then explained to him everything about the Rikudo Sannin and his 2 children and such. And it seems your dojutsu is like the 10 tails one's, albeit a bit different. I got the same one when I sealed the beast into myself. I don't know how you have it, you were just supposed to have the Rinnegan, but it seems some of your Uchiha chakra merged with my own special white chakra that you now have. I had a hunch this would happen. Anyways, although I never used it excessively, I almost mastered the Dojutsu. I had all the powers of it, but I never mastered it. I didn't have enough time. Here is a scroll I wrote containing most of its secrets. Rikudo Sannin said. I have a Dojutsu? Naruto asked. It was unlocked once you saw your memories, he said. After Naruto did so, a mirror materialized in front of him. He then looked at his Dojutsu. He had a Sharingan with a concentric circle surrounding it. He was slack-jawed. He was no idiot. That looked like the beginning stage of the Sharingan, which was praised in his village, and the same eyes the Rikudo Sannin had has. He was ecstatic to know about this new Dojutsu, so he snatched the scroll from the sage's hand. Naruto then opened the big scroll and started reading it. This Dojutsu is a crossbreed with the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. It has all the powers of each of the two Dojutsu. I don't know how it is unlocked, but I think it is unlocked by hatred in a nutshell. I was able to unlock once I started to feel the Jubi's hatred through its chakra merging with my own. This Dojutsu is definitely the strongest in the world, and I doubt anyone else would ever have this. If the one with this Dojutsu have children, they would unlock only one of the two Dojutsu. Its abilities are the same as the Rinnegan and the Sharingan. The powers of this Dojutsu are the following. It gives you all the Sharingan's powers and 5 elements and 6 special powers, which I call paths, which are also the Rinnegan's powers. Level 1. In this level, you will have a Sharingan with 1 tomo at first surrounded by a concentric circle. You can advance the tomos and it will still be in level 1. Once you have 3 tomos, you can unlock level 2. You will unlock the Deva path and the Asura path on the first level. Although you cannot turn your living body into steel, you can do it to others if you ever decide to use dead bodies. This path is the one that gives physical enhancements to the body. The Deva path on the first level will give you 3 basic elements and gravitation. You can also create sub-elements with your elements such as ice, lava, wood, storm, etc. With the Asura path, you will get an enhanced physique. You will also get all the Sharingan's powers as you go through the tomos. You will be able to predict movements and copy jutsu. You will also get advanced chakra control to the point of creating sub-elements and other things that would take years of chakra control. You would be able to see chakra like any normal Dojutsu. Naruto stopped reading and looked at the sage as if asking if such a powerful thing could exist. Yes, I have it too. But I am only in a spiritual form since I am dead and cannot show it to you because of the limitations of this form. The sage explained. Then Naruto started reading the scroll again. Level 2, you will have 2 concentric circles of the Rinnegan. However, the Sharingan might or might not advance to its next level, which is the Mangekyo Sharingan. In this level, you will get 2 more paths and 1 more basic element. If you do get the Mangekyo, you will get the Mangekyo Sharingan's first powers, such as the Tsukuyomi and the Amaterasu. However, they would be in their weakest form. You would need more than 1 second of eye contact for Tsukuyomi, and your Amaterasu would be hard to aim and control. You would also get better chakra control and better control over gravity. Level 3, you will have 3 concentric circles of the Rinnegan, with the Mangekyo definitely being unlocked, and the Sharingan's drawbacks, blindness, will not affect you. You will get full control over Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu. After a lot of training, you can get the Susanoo and Kamui. You will also have the final basic element and even better control over your gravity element. The final 2 paths will also be unlocked in this level. How the levels are unlocked is still a mystery to me. I just remembered being in a stressful situation when I unlocked those levels. There are a lot of other things that even I don't know about this. I leave it on to whoever has this Dojutsu to figure this Dojutsu out completely. Wait, physical enhancements? Naruto asked. Then, another mirror appeared in front of him that showed his entire body. He was astounded with the changes. This is more like getting a new body, Naruto yelled. This would be your body if you weren't malnourished, Naruto, the sage said sadly. Whoa, was all Naruto could say. Then, he finally realized that over his excitement over his new bloodline, he completely forgot about how and why the sage was here. But wait, why are you here? And what do you mean, you're dead? Naruto screamed at him as he was a tad bit afraid of ghosts. I just sealed a portion of my chakra into each beast, for I already knew the next sage would be a Jinchuriki. Anyways, I see a disastrous event in the future and I wanted to help train you. I was hoping you would be a bit stronger when I came to help you, but the situation calls for it. In this vision, I see someone reviving the Jubi. From what I saw, he was trying to become the Jinchuriki of the Jubi and take over the world. Even I couldn't beat it, but I entrust that to you, Naruto, he said. Wait, how am I supposed to beat a beast you couldn't yourself? Naruto asked. I don't know, but I believe in you. I know you can do it, I know you can do better than me. After all, the next generation is always better than the last, right? He said with a dry chuckle. I don't think I can do it. Naruto trailed off with a sad tone. Of course you can. You have the potential to surpass all the great people before you. All you need is your old drive. The sage said. Look, I know you are lost in life and heartbroken, but you can't mope over it. I really can't speak like that about you, considering what they did to you. You have to be strong and get through this. You also have people to get you through, too, he said. By this point in time, Naruto was crying on his elbow. Thanks, I will try my best. You're right. I will not care what the other people think of me anymore. I'm going to prove it to them that I am not a demon, but Naruto Uzumaki. Databeo, Naruto said with a bright smile on his face. He's recovering, but he is still hurt. I mean, considering what happened to him, I'm surprised he is not a bloodthirsty psychopath. The sage thought. Good. We are going to start on your training. The downside to the form I am in now is that I will have to go back to the world of the dead in a week. So, I will mostly just give you tips and leave you some of my most powerful techniques to the fox that you can learn in the future, he said. Now, go on and go back to the real world. All right, thanks, Rakudajiji, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Naruto awoke to find himself in a familiar surrounding with white walls. He instantly realized it was his personal chamber in the hospital. He gets beaten up so often that his GG got him a personal space in the hospital every time this occurs. He looks around to see his GG looking at him with sad eyes. How are feeling, Naruto-kun? His GG said. I'm feeling fine. Well, you want to know what happened, right? Naruto asked. GG. The memory seal broke, Naruto finally said after a while. The Hokage's eyes softened. Even though Naruto said only that much, he heard so much more. The memories of everything that happened that was blocked with the seal probably came back. His family, how they died, and what happened thereafter. I see. So what are you going to do? He asked Naruto. I don't know what to do. I might leave the village or something. But I do know I have to get stronger because, well, it is a long story. Naruto explained. His GG then took off his hat and set it down on the table. What are you doing? Naruto asked. I'm not speaking to you as your Hokage. I am speaking to you as your grandfather figure. As your GG, I don't want you to go. But I would understand if you have to leave. But I am going to try to convince you to stay, the Hokage said. How are you going to do that? Naruto asked incredulously. Here, the Hokage said as he gave him a letter. This is a letter your dad wrote for you before your parents died. Your real parents. They are... Well, just read the letter. The Hokage said.
Son.
I am writing this letter to you as the Kyuubi attacks my village. So forgive your father for a short goodbye letter. It's best if I introduce myself now. My name is Minato Namikaze, better known as the Yondaime Hokage or the Kiroi Senko. Your mom's name is Kushina Uzumaki. She is a beautiful woman that I am sure you would love. However, she just got the Kyuubi ripped out of her, and yes, she was a Jinchuriki, and no, she was not hated. She is very weak right now, but we both are going to die today though. Nobody can survive their beast getting ripped out of him or her, and I am going to seal the Kyuubi into you. Of course, you know that by now. I am going to give you my estate, and your mom wanted to give you her family sword, but that is still in her village. She never went to get it because it reminded her too much of her deceased family. However, she wanted to entrust it to you. Ask the old man for the estate when you are old enough or high of a rank enough to be in the council. Anyways, Naruto, I am sorry that I had to seal the fox into you. It was the only thing I could do to save the village. Also, I gave you the fox for another reason. The person who ripped the fox out of your mom was strong. I had a hard time even touching him, literally. I want you to use this power to its fullest extent. I know I could have sealed into another newborn child, but I couldn't ask another person to give up their child if I couldn't do it myself. I sealed it into you because I know you will be able to handle the pain and the suffering, because you are my son and I believe in you. I just want you to know that your mother and I loved you very much. We were so excited about having we tried to get everything about the baby prepared, or so we thought, within the first month. It wasn't until your godmother, who was a medic that knew about babies, told us what you need to do for a baby we got the correct utilities and the like. Remember that we will always love you, even in the afterlife, and try to eat your veggies. Naruto trailed off as while the tears threatened to come out again. What are you going to do, Naruto? The Hokage asked him. Well, I am going to eat a big bowl of ramen first, and make my parents proud of me. I am not leaving, 'cause that is something someone weak would do to hide from their pain. I am going to take it head on, Naruto yelled. Thank God. If you left, I would just have to be Hokage a while longer, and I don't want that, the Hokage said with a chuckle. Naruto then started to walk out the door. Where are you going, Naruto? The Hokage asked. I'm going to get some new clothes. And Gigi, could you come with me so the stupid villagers don't kick me out of their damn stores? Naruto said. The Hokage could see that he was trying to be happy, but his eyes showed everything. They were dull, like a person full of hatred. Don't worry about that. I know a special store where your father used to buy his ninja tools from. The owner of this store also knows your parents, so you can buy anything you want from him. Oh, give this to him, it should explain what you need, the Hokage said and handed him the address and a letter. Really? Thanks, Gigi, Naruto said as he was about to leave, but the Hokage's voice stopped him. What happened to you, Naruto? The Hokage finally asked the million-dollar question. It's a long story, you should sit down, he said and explained his jujitsu to him, but he left out the part of him being the next sage and the Jubi getting revived. I see. Well, wait here for a moment, the Hokage said. The Hokage then came back to the room with a few scrolls and some weird box-shaped papers. Channel chakra through these papers, the Hokage said in an authoritative tone. After Naruto did so, the paper floated for a while, before it split into 3 halves. One of the papers had multiple cuts on it to the point it was barely visible, another was soaked to the point of it just falling apart in many paces, and the other crinkled up into a very small, almost atomic ball. Just as I expected, you have lightning, water, wind, and your gravitation element. Here are some basic elemental manipulation scrolls with a few jutsu, but first master tree climbing if you didn't, and master water walking before even touching these scrolls. Whatever your shadow clones learn, you learn too, which is the main reason it is a kenjutsu and its requirement of inhumanly amount of chakra. The only thing that isn't passed down is physical exercise. You should do that while the clones take care of the other stuff like water walking. Also, here are some taijutsu style that are suitable for you. One of them is your father's one, the hummingbird style, and others like the Goken, or your mom's style, the royal guard. Even I don't fully understand this style, but I am sure you can do it, the Hokage said. Thanks, Gigi, Naruto yelled with his eyes gleaming with excitement. Oh, could you tell Kakashi-sensei that I won't come to train and do missions with them for a while, at least not until the chunin exams. He neglects my training as ordered from the council, I presume, and all we do is D-ranks since you probably don't want to have another wave case if we go on another one, Naruto said with a serious tone. Okay, Naruto, you will have to be there on the day before to practice some last-minute teamwork, of course, the Hokage said. Sure, Gigi, Naruto said. Naruto proceeded to walk to the store. As he was walking, he noticed he was in the higher class section of Konoha. He then walked into a store named the Twin Dragons Ninja Shop. He walked in and saw a girl about his age with weird buns on her head reading a magazine on the counter. Hi, are you the owner of the store? I have a letter from the Hokage that I need to give him, Naruto said to the girl, who blushed upon seeing him. Okay, let me get my dad, she said. After a while, a tall, slightly fat and bulky man walked through the back door. What do you need, young man? The huge man asked. Ah, here is a letter the Hokage gave me that explains basically what I need, Naruto said before handing him a letter. He read it for a while before his eyes softened. Come here, I know just the thing for you. It's time you follow your father's footsteps. Other than clothes, what do you need? He asked. How about these chakra weights? And some kunai, shuriken, and exploding tags at about 500 each. Naruto said. After a while, the shopkeeper came back with a lot of things. What? Sealing books? Cloaks? I didn't order this stuff, sir. And I doubt I can pay for all this. Naruto said. Don't worry. This time it's all on me. Just promise me you will come here every time you need supplies. Now go try on these clothes. The man said with a smile. Naruto then went to change. After a while, Naruto came out of the room. He was wearing a skin-tight crimson shirt. He had a black cloak with red flames coming out of it on the bottom and the sleeves of the cloak. He also had black umbu pants that let him move his legs around freely. He also had black shoes with red lines on the sides and the Konoha symbol on it, and little ways above it, he had a white strip of clothing wrapped around his shins like bandages, but looser. All in all, he actually looked like a serious ninja now. This is nice. Thanks for this. Naruto says before creating some clones to take his stuff. Naruto then goes to an empty training ground and puts on his chakra weights. He keeps on adding chakra to the weights until he had 30 pounds on his arms and 50 on his legs. He creates 1,000 clones with half of his chakra. Alright, 250 of you start water walking. 250 of you start practicing the hummingbird style, and another 250 learn the Goken. 250 of you start learning this royal guard style that my mom used to use while I do some physical exercises. Naruto yelled out to the clones, which got a chorus of "wosh" from the clones. Naruto then proceeded to do 20 laps around the training ground. After that, he did 200 sit-ups, 150 push-ups, 200 squats, 500 kicks, 500 punches on trees, and to finish off he sparred with an army of 50 of his own clones. By the time he was finished, it was lunchtime. He then told the clones to dispel in groups of 20. He was surprised to know that his clones finished the water walking exercise long ago, and they started on Senbon balancing and spinning. They could do it on one hand on each finger but not both. It must be the increased chakra control of the Jujutsu making it easier for me, Naruto thought. Naruto then ate some healthy food because he was now taking his training seriously, but he had to have one bowl of ramen, though. He felt like he got most of chakra back from the meal. After that, he went back to the training ground. I mastered water walking to the point of standing there and fighting on water, so I can start doing elemental manipulation, Naruto said to himself. He then made 1,500 clones. He told 200 of them to do more chakra control exercises, 200 on hummingbird style, 200 on Goken, 200 on royal guard, 200 on lightning manipulation, 200 on wind manipulation, and 200 on water manipulation exercises. He then told 200 of them to practice gravity element, and 100 on calligraphy for sealing, while himself read a beginner's seal book. However, he never noticed the umbu trailing him. He learns at such a tremendous rate. Hell, he would be Kage level in like a few years if this keeps up. I better report to Hokage-sama about this, the umbu thought to himself. 2 weeks later. What did you want from me, Gigi? Naruto said with a cold tone. Ever since the day the sage left, he was beginning his descent into the darkness. Every time the villagers glared, he would raise Ki and glare back. They tried to attack him, he would release all his Ki and tell them to leave him the fuck alone. And every time they would do anything to him, his hatred would grow, and it would keep growing at this rate. Well, Naruto-kun, I wanted you to go to your mother's village and train there for a while. I am going to assign one of my most trusted umbu to go with you. His name is Yamato, the Hokage said as he gestured to an average-looking man dressed in standard jounin garb with brown hair and sideburn protectors or something of the sort. Okay. When do we leave? Naruto asked. Whenever you are ready you can leave, Naruto-kun, the Hokage said. Let's go then. I am already packed, Naruto said as he pointed to a storage seal on his left forearm. Okay. See you in 2 weeks, Naruto-kun, the Hokage said as Naruto started walking to the door. He left without even saying a word. It seems he is beginning to get a darker approach in his life. What should I do with you, Naruto? The third Hokage thought in desperation of seeing that bright smile on Naruto again. Chapter 3. Previously. What did you want from me, Gigi? Naruto said with a cold tone. Ever since that first day, he was beginning his descent into the darkness. Every time the villagers glared, he would raise Ki and glare back. They tried to attack him, He would release all his ki and tell them to leave him the fuck alone. And every time they would do anything to him, his hatred would grow, and it would keep growing at this rate. Well, Naruto-kun, I wanted you to go to your mother's village and train there for a while. I am going to assign one of my most trusted umbu to go with you. His name is Yamato. The Hokage said as he gestured to an average man with sideburn protectors or something of the sort. Okay. When do we leave? Naruto asked. Whenever you are ready you can leave, Naruto-kun. The Hokage said. Let's go then. I am already packed. Naruto said as he pointed to a storage seal on his left forearm. Okay. See you in 2 weeks, Naruto-kun. The Hokage said as Naruto started walking to the door. He left without even saying a word. It seems he is beginning to get a darker approach in his life. What should I do with you, Naruto? The third Hokage thought in desperation of seeing that bright smile on Naruto again. 2 weeks later, end of training trip. There were 2 men walking down the road towards Konoha. One of them was a man of an average height with a weird sideburn protector and typical jounin-type attire. His name was Yamato. Beside him was a boy of 13 with blonde hair. He was wearing a black cloak with red flames on the sleeves and the bottom of his cloak that went down to his knees. He had a skin-tight crimson shirt on and typical black umbu pants. He was wearing black shoes with the Konoha symbol on it. Halt! State your business in this village. One of the guards on the gate said. We are coming back from an A-rank mission by orders of the Hokage. Yamato said before handing some papers to the guard who checked them before nodding. All right, you can go inside, the guard said. Then, both of them walked in and headed to a general direction of the Hokage Tower. It is okay, Naruto. I will go and handle the report. You should go and meet up with your friends or team, Yamato said to Naruto, who nodded. With Yamato, he entered the Hokage's room and saw the Hokage furiously scribbling on his paperwork before noticing his presence. Ah, Yamato, how much has the young boy improved? The Hokage asked him. Sir, he is at low mid-jounin level right now. His skills are amazing even for an experienced jounin. He even unlocked all 3 tomos of his special Sharingan. All he lacks is some experience, Yamato said. Okay. Now report to me on everything he learned, the Hokage ordered him. Yes, sir. Yamato then gave the Hokage a brief summary on what Naruto learned over the past month. Back with Naruto. Naruto then turned on the next corner and went to his house. Once he walked in, he saw something unexpected. His house was as cleaner than ever. Even all his ramen cups were thrown out of the floor. Then, he remembered Haku was staying here for a while. He thought she must not have left this house. After checking everything in his house was okay, he went into the bedroom. He saw another sight that surprised him. Haku was sleeping peacefully on his bed in her underwear. Seeing this, Naruto blushed a bit before regaining his composure and slowly closed the door. However, Haku heard this and instantly woke up. Must be another stupid villager that came to trash Naruto's place, Haku thought with little anger boiling inside of her. She quickly put on some clothes and grabbed a handful of senbon and walked out the door to see someone shirtless eating ramen from one of the shelves. Who are you? Haku asked in a threatening manner at the stranger.
Relax, Haku.
Didn't Gigi tell you that I went through some changes? Naruto asked her. Whoa, he's hot, he said, some physical enhancements, not turning him into something like resembling a fucking Adonis. She thought as she desperately tried to stop the flow of blood flowing out of her nose from seeing his muscular body. I see you have done a nice job on this place. Thanks for that, by the way, Naruto told her. Oh, right, thanks, Haku said, blushing as she tried to look away from the 6-pack and developing 8-pack, but found that she couldn't take her eyes off of it. You don't have to stare. I can put on a shirt if you want, Naruto told her.
No.
Don't do. Yeah. You should put on a shirt, Haku told him as Naruto just shrugged at her weird behavior and put on his skin-tight crimson shirt. Damn, not helping. Since when was I such a pervert anyway? Haku thought as she was still staring at his abdominal and pectoral muscles. So what have you been doing for the past month, Haku? Naruto asked her. Oh, nothing. Just trained a bit and did my mandatory amount of D-rank missions, Haku said as she finally stopped checking Naruto out. That's good. We should see who is the better ice user sometime. Naruto said with a smirk as he held out his hand and an ice block formed in his hand, which made Haku's jaws drop to the ground. How do you have my bloodline? She asked him. I don't have your bloodline. It is just that I can combine elements with the new bloodline that I unlocked. Naruto told her in a matter-of-fact fashion. Whoa, that is cool. And yeah, we should see who is the better ice user. Haku said with a smile. Sounds great. Naruto said to her. Oh, I have to go and meet my team. We are going to enter the chunin exams tomorrow. Wish me luck. Naruto said as he started putting on his clothes, which got an almost unnoticeable pout from Haku. Good luck, Naruto-kun, Haku said before blushing at what she said. She then looked up to see Naruto still putting on his clothes as if he didn't hear anything, which got a sigh of relief from Haku. Thanks. See you later, Naruto yelled out before going out the door. Naruto was walking toward Team 7's training ground, Training Ground 7. He walked in to see Sasuke brooding on a tree and Sakura trying to get his attention. He walked up to them and just simply waved at them. Sir, who are you? This is Team 7's training ground. Sakura asked the man in a polite tone. Hi, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. I have been in your team several months now. Naruto answered in an equally polite tone. Oh, nice to meet. Wait, what? Naruto, Sakura yelled out before she blushed on seeing how hot he became. Hell, he was even hotter than her Sasuke-kun. Nice try, Dobe, you should dispel the henge, Sasuke said trying to act cool. This is no henge, Sasuke. Check with your Sharingan. Naruto told him and Sasuke looked him over with his Sharingan. It doesn't matter. Just because you hit puberty does not mean you can beat me, Dobe, Sasuke said with a smirk. I don't have time to fight stuck-up kids like you who brood about crap like he has had the worst life in the world. So I guess we can't decide on that, right, Sasuke? Naruto said in a mocking tone. Shut up, Dobe. You want to get your ass kicked, Sasuke yelled at him, getting into a fighting stance. You can try, but Kakashi-sensei is right behind you, you know? And I doubt he would just let me kick your ass, Naruto pointed out. Oh, I see you have noticed me, Naruto, Kakashi said as he appeared in a poof of smoke. How did the Dobe sense him, something even me and elite Uchiha couldn't do? This is outrageous. I must make the Dobe hand over his power, Sasuke thought in a frantic manner.
Dobe.
I demand you teach me how you did that, for you should be proud and elite Uchiha is letting you teach him, Sasuke yelled out to the blonde. Shut the fuck up, I ain't teaching you jack shit. Learn it on your own. Besides, elite like you shouldn't need a Dobe's help anyway, Naruto replied back.
Ma.
Play nice, you two. Besides, you can spar with each other at the end of the day when I am done with your training, Kakashi said with an eye smile. However, all three of them had mixed feelings on seeing their teammate after a long month. Kakashi's POV. He has changed so much. Have I failed sensei? Would he understand that because of the council? His son had to go through this. He would kill me. However, he still seems to be okay, I think. The mission we did. Flashback. I got the fucking cat, Sasuke yelled out, rushing over to the cat. I'll help you, Sasuke-kun, Sakura yelled before rushing over to it perpendicular to Sasuke. Thud. Sasuke and Sakura both fell on their asses, rubbing their heads as they both got hit there. Damn it. Sakura. I had it, Sasuke yelled. Calm down, guys, Naruto said calmly, and both looked at him with Tora resting on his forearms while he was petting it. It's a cat, not a fucking cow. Anyways, Kakashi-sensei, we have the cat. It has a red ribbon on its ear, Naruto said over the mic. All right, let's go and get another one, Kakashi yelled enthusiastically. Somehow, this got groans from Sakura and Sasuke and a nod from Naruto. Flashback end. Even then, he was starting to get quiet. Ever since he graduated, he stopped bugging Sakura for dates, and he would turn down Sasuke's challenges for fights. He would sometimes even bail on our team practices. He is independent and full of hatred now, and I failed, I was too late to help him. And oh, I was too lazy to. Sensei, forgive me. Sakura POV. Damn baka. Thinking he is so cool just because he got a growth spurt and all those delicious muscles. And chiseled face. What the hell? Why am I thinking about him in such a way? Maybe it is because I now know he is the strongest member of the team. It was a week before the day of the wave mission. Flashback. Dobe, fight me. Sasuke yelled out to him.
No.
Naruto simply said. Damn it, Dobe. I need to know who is stronger between us. Sasuke yelled out to him. Why do you need to know so bad? Well, I don't need to know. Just screw it, Sasuke. You are the stronger one. Okay? Naruto said to him before looking around to see if Kakashi was here to see their inevitable fight. He wasn't. We won't know until we fight. Get ready, Naruto, 'cause here I come. Sasuke yelled out before rushing out to him. Sasuke rushed up to him and threw a vicious right hook at his target, which Naruto dodged by ducking. Sasuke then went for a spin kick to knock Naruto off the ground. However, Naruto jumped over this. Sasuke smirked before trying to spin and give him a kick to the face from his crouching position, but was surprised when someone blocked the kick. His eyes traveled to another Naruto? He looked around and saw 4 clones surrounding him, and one holding his leg threw him onto another clone, who punched him to the ground. Before he knew what was happening, the other 2 clones appeared above him and gave 2 vicious kicks to his stomach, which knocked the wind out of him before the real one threw him to a tree. Give up, Sasuke, Naruto said simply. Those injuries would be healed in a day if you give up now. Shut up, Dobe. I still have a lot of fight left in me. Sasuke yelled out before going through hand signs. Katan, Hausenka no Jutsu, Fire Release, Phoenix Sage Fire Technique. Sasuke spewed out many balls of fire that destroyed the clones, but the real Naruto was nowhere to be found. Sasuke stood his ground knowing if Uzumaki Naruto was hiding. There was no way in hell you would find him, so he decided to wait for him to come to him. After a long minute of tense waiting, Sasuke heard rumbling underground and instantly jumped, for Naruto came out of the ground holding 4 kunai, which he threw at his opponent. However, the kunai transformed into 4 Narutos and latched onto Sasuke before glowing. Sasuke, seeing this, had his eyes widened before using a quick substitution to escape and replace himself with a log. After he substituted, however, he felt the cold blade of a kunai at his neck. His eyes widened at Naruto as if looking for an explanation. When I was underground, I created a lot of clones that would hide in the trees where the nearest logs were, while the rest forced you into substituting with a log so I could have you captured. Naruto said simply while Sasuke's eyes widened again at his teammates' mental prowess. He grits his teeth thinking about charging again, but stopped when kunai at his throat drew some blood. Sasuke grit his teeth again. I give, Sasuke said in a hoarse whisper. I'll be leaving then. Don't say I didn't tell you not to do this. Now the great Uchiha's pride is stomped on, Naruto said in a mocking tone before turning around. Sasuke punched the ground hard enough to draw blood. He then stood up and started walking away. Where are you going, Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked in a worried tone. To train, Sasuke said before leaving. Flashback end. Sasuke was devastated that he was stronger, and they fought it out once more that week. Sasuke lost again. We started following his orders, and he was the glue that stuck us together. Should I be worried about what is going to happen to them at the end? Or should I just enjoy this team while it lasts? No, I can't think that way. But still, Naruto was the glue, and now he has changed, I can tell. This team is not going to last very long without the old Naruto. Even though the old Naruto was cold, this one is even colder. This Naruto even spews out more hatred in his eyes than Sasuke. Sasuke POV. What happened to him? He is so different. Those eyes, they scare the shit out of me. He hasn't just changed physically, but also emotionally. He is like me on the day after the Uchiha massacre. So full of hatred, he probably faced something traumatic. But what could bring the goofy but dangerous Naruto's spirit down to this? It had to be something bad. I have to ask Kakashi-sensei about this after the exams. He used to be goofy and asks us if we wanted to go to the ramen store with him. During missions, he used to be quiet and completely focused, the main example being the wave mission. In that mission, he had almost everything planned. He beat the Akuma brothers easily, confused Zabuza, and he even beat Haku. Now, he seems dark and focused all the time. What happened to you, Naruto? At the end of the day, Kakashi handed them 2 slips of paper that required their sign and told them to go to the academy if you wanted to enter the exams. You only have to go if you want to, but I expect all of you will be there anyway. Anyways, I have business to take care of, Jana, Kakashi said with an eye smile before puffing into smoke. Next day at the academy, Naruto was walking toward the academy when he noticed Sakura and Sasuke were already there and waiting for him. He waved at them and motioned for them to go inside with him. As they went up 2 floors, they noticed many people were trying to get in the door guarded by 2 genins that were not allowing anybody to go through. Naruto motioned for them to follow him. Don't say a word, Sasuke, Naruto told him. HN, you should remove the genjutsu and let us pass. This is the 2nd floor, not the 3rd. Sasuke said with a smirk, thinking that what he did was smart. Naruto facepalmed at this. Damn it, Sasuke, this test weeds out the weak genins. Why did you have to do that, you stupid team? Naruto yelled at him, making Sasuke's smirk turn into a frown. Forget it. Let's just go, Naruto told them. They were walking toward the room when a weird person with a horrendous green spandex and a bowl cut walked in front of them. I wish to fight you, Uchiha Sasuke, to prove that one can best a genius with hard work. My name is Rock Lee, Konoha's beautiful green beast. Lee yelled before turning to Sakura and gave her a weird look. Sakura-chan, I am here to prove my worth to you, too. If you go on a date with me, I will protect you with my life. Rock Lee yelled.
You, gross.
No, the only one for me is Sasuke-kun. Go away, you freak, Sakura screeched at him. You know who I am, and yet you still wish to fight me? Sasuke asked him arrogantly. Sasuke, let's go. He will beat you easily, I can tell. Naruto told him, which got a scoff from Sasuke. Fine, I will be waiting for you guys there, Naruto told them and left. Naruto then walked up to the room and saw Kakashi waiting for him there. Where is the rest of your team, Naruto? Kakashi asked his student. Sasuke is getting his ass handed to him by this weird green dude, and Sakura is following him, Naruto said, and after a while a beaten Sasuke came with a worried Sakura. One, Naruto asked mockingly with a smirk. Shut up, dope. Sasuke grit his teeth at him. Let's go inside. Kakashi-sensei, you don't have to explain about the whole team being here. We already know that you can't enter the exams without a full team, Naruto said. Wait, you tricked us? Sakura asked. Yeah. I couldn't let Naruto and Sasuke force you into this, Sakura, Kakashi said simply. Anyways, good luck with the exam, Kakashi said before leaving with a shunshin. However, both were looking at Naruto with mixed feelings, one fight being awe and the other being jealousy. Wow, Naruto sure is smart, Sakura thought before looking at the angry face of Sasuke. Oh no, Sasuke-kun, she thought. How is he always one step ahead of me? No matter how hard I try, Sasuke thought in anger. Let's go, Naruto said, and his teammates followed him into the door, although begrudgingly. Hey, there is Sasuke-kun's team. They heard the familiar voice of Ino the moment they walked in. However, she stopped to check out the hunk that was with their team. Hey, so who are you? They finally replaced Naruto. Huh? Well, they made a good choice, Ino said to Naruto. You make me sick, Ino, Naruto said in a cold and simple tone before walking to the corner and leaning on it while crossing his arms. Whoa, what is up with that guy? Ino said with a frown. Ino, that was Naruto. Sakura trailed off. What? Was the reaction of the rookie 9. What do you mean, that was Naruto? That guy is not like Naruto at all, Kiba said in a frantic manner. Humph, the damn dope just hit puberty and got a big growth spurt. What's the big deal? God knows he needed it, Sasuke said with a smirk, and his fangirls were marveling on how cool their Sasuke-kun was. I didn't need the growth spurt to kick your ass, Naruto said. Shut up. You just got lucky those 2 times, Sasuke yelled out to him. We fought a total of 2 times, Sasuke. Naruto told him, which got Sasuke angry again. As if Naruto Baka could never beat Sasuke-kun, right Sakura? Ino asked her but got quiet when noticing the sad face of Sakura and the angry face of Sasuke.
Ma.
You group of people should quiet down. If you draw attention to yourselves, you will probably be targeted. A boy said to them. You guys being rookies in the exams is just icing on the cake for them to take you down. So lay low, the boy said. Who are you? Kiba asked him. Me? My name is Kabuto Yakushi, he said. Seeing how we are from the same village, I just wanted to warn you guys about these exams. I should know. I failed here 7 times already. Kabuto said, which got a snort from Sasuke. HN, you must really suck then, Sasuke told him. TCH, here I was trying to help you with these. Kabuto told them before pulling out a deck of cards. These cards contain information about every contestant in these exams. Do you want to know something about someone here? Kabuto asked them. Sasuke then thought back to the week before the exams. The day he met Gaara. Flashback. Temari Kankuro, you two are a disgrace. A voice said to the 2 Sannins who were about to harass a kid and Sasuke, who was standing a few feet from them on a tree branch. JRA. The KID bumped into me. The boy identified as Kankuro said in a scared manner. Shut up, or I will kill you, Gaara said to him. You, what is your name? Gaara asked to Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke, and yours? Sasuke asked him.
Subaku no Gaara.
Mother wants your blood, Sasuke. Be ready if we are to fight, Gaara said before all 3 of them started leaving. Flashback end. Rock Lee, Sabaku no Gaara, and Uzumaki Naruto. Sasuke said, who surprised everyone with who he mentioned last. You already know their names? This will be easy, Kabuto said before pulling out cards. Rock Lee, teammates are Hyuga Niji and Higurashi Tenten. Their team has been on 50 D rank missions and 15 C rank missions. Their sensei is Mado Guy. Rock Lee's own record is that he is a taijutsu specialist, for he was born with a chakra defect that enables him to use chakra. His taijutsu is said to be on par with most jounin and if not all chunin. Kabuto paused to show that he was impressed.
Subaku no Gaara.
His teammates are Sabaku no Kankuro and Sabaku no Temari, who are coincidentally his siblings, and his jounin sensei is Baki. Their team has been on 10 D rank missions, 20 C rank mission, and, wow, 2 B rank missions. This is interesting. The card says he was completely unharmed during all of his missions. He didn't have a single scratch on him. Kabuto said, being even more impressed. These batch of genins were special. Uzumaki Naruto. His teammates are Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura. His jounin sensei is Hatake Kakashi. They have been on 30 D rank missions, and their team has been on 1 A rank mission, and Naruto himself was on another A rank mission. So he was in 2. His skills are unknown, but rumor has it that he is a genius with his tactic combining the shadow clones and exploding ones. He is said to have caught Zabuza of the Hidden Mist by surprise by using his exceptional mental prowess. Wow, Kabuto said. This was definitely impressive for the dead last of the academy. All of the rookie 9 then looked at Naruto in surprise before most of them turned to Sakura, as if asking if it was true, which got a nod from her. Just then, a group of 2 sound ninja came to attack Kabuto. He dodged, but he was still affected by the attack as he was coughing blood. Naruto's eyes turned cold before glaring daggers at the man who attacked Kabuto. You lay another hand on someone from the leaf when the exam hasn't started yet. I will kill you, Naruto said in a simple but cold tone that sent shivers down their spines. Let's see your try, one of them said in false bravado. Naruto then turned to the one who spoke before looking both of them in the eye, leaking humongous amounts of Ki aimed directly at them, but the rest of the people could also feel a little bit and found it hard to breathe. The 2 of them he was focusing on, however, had their eyes widened in shock and fell to the ground with wide eyes. They just saw their death by looking at him. I can make what you saw there a reality. Don't tempt me, Naruto said before canceling his Ki when he noticed somebody walked into the room. Do not start fighting right now, you may in the second part of the exams. If you do so now, you will get disqualified, the man said as he felt the tension between those 2 groups of people. My name is Ibiki Marino, and I will be the proctor for the first part of the exams. Everybody come here and get your assigned seats, Ibiki said to all of them. After a while, everyone was seated and was waiting patiently for their next instructions. Now, I will explain to you the rules of the test, Ibiki told them, which got them all listening intently. Each question is worth a total of 10 points. Every time you cheat, 2 points will be deducted off your score. Who passes is based on the team's collective score, meaning if one of your team members fail, all of them will fail. If you are caught cheating 3 times, your whole team will be disqualified. Understood? Ibiki asked them in the end, which got uproars stating why they have to rely on their team so much. Silence. It is my exam and my rules. You don't like it, well then too bad, Ibiki told them before looking at his watch. Begin, Ibiki said. So let's see here, what are you hiding from us? These questions are too hard for average genins to do, so he must want us to get the answers somehow. So he wants us to cheat 2 points off for each time you are caught cheating instead of just failing? Obviously he wants us to cheat. Good thing I created kage bunshins who hinged into various things in the room when I was fighting those guys in case I needed to substitute with something. Hehe, piece of cake, Naruto thought as he breezed through the test with 15 minutes remaining. This was a pretty well thought out test, but it wasn't good enough. Placing chunins who already know the answer so we can cheat from them was pretty smart, but kage bunshins are the bomb, Naruto thought with a laugh. Alright, now it is time for the final question, but there is a choice for you. You can either take the question or not. The catch is that if you take it and can't answer it, you will fail and forever stay a genin. However, you can quit and try your luck next year, but not if you take it and get it wrong. You can never take the chunin exams again. Ibiki finished. This got various uproars from the people varying from, "You can't do that," to "FSK. Yes, I can. As I said before, my exam, my rules. Anyways, you will have to make your decision now," Ibiki told them. Oh, this was a good ending to the test. I can tell he is just testing our willpower to make decisions no matter the cost and to go on. And it's working too. These people are dropping like flies out of the exam, Naruto thought before noticing that a girl, Hinata, was almost giving up like the rest of them. Just before she could raise her hand, Naruto's hand was on top of her, stopping her. She looked up and saw Naruto shaking his head at her, telling her not to do it. She blushed before. She dropped on the floor and fainted. Naruto just blinked before shrugging his shoulders. The girl sure was weird. I need her to get rid of that crush she has on me. I don't like her that way, and she is just hurting herself holding on to that crush, Naruto thought before noticing the time was up for them to leave. All right, so the rest of you intend to stay? Ibiki asked them before noticing the fierce determination on the rest of them. Nobody else is dropping out, Ibiki thought with pride. Good, you all pass, Ibiki told them. What? Was the reaction of most of the people. He just tested us to see if we had what it takes to do what we are supposed to do no matter the obstacles in front of us. To sum it up, Naruto said, which surprised everyone but Sakura and Sasuke. What he said was true. Ibiki never got to finish as a banner came flying through the window that read, "The sexy and beautiful Anko Mitarashi." Why does that name sound so familiar? Naruto thought. Anko, you are early again, Ibiki deadpanned. Screw it. Wait, so many people passed? You are getting soft, Ibiki, Anko told him before turning to the rest of the genins. All right, you maggots. Meet me in training ground 44, aka the Forest of Death, in 30 minutes. She yelled before using Shunshin to go there. Naruto just vanished in a cackle of lightning. Right after Anko appeared outside the forest, Naruto appeared in a cackle of lightning. Anko looked at him curiously. How did the brat know how to do that? Before she took his whole appearance. His blonde hair and blue eyes. The athletic but muscular build. Wait, blonde and blue eyes? Then it's Naruto, Anko thought with a blush. When they were kids, she used to help him time to time by giving him food. Flashback, before foster family. 5-year-old Naruto could be seen scavenging through the garbage since he was just recently kicked out of the orphanage and he didn't know what to do. However, as soon as he heard footsteps, he instantly hid. He knew that a person coming to greet him in a dark corner would eventually lead to a beating of the kid. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I just brought you something to eat. I have been told about you from my sensei, so I decided to drop by and help you for a bit, a girl said as she let the sweet aroma of hot food fill Naruto's nostrils. Naruto didn't care if it was poisoned, he needed some food right now. Naruto instantly went up to her and waited for her to unwrap the things so he could eat. Wait, let's go to your place for a while. You would not want to eat here, right? The girl told him. No, I don't have anywhere to stay. Naruto trailed off. What? What about the orphanage? The girl asked him. They kicked me out 3 months ago, Naruto told her. Oh, let's just go to my place then. Don't worry. I will inform the hokage that you have been kicked out and he will give a place to stay, she told Naruto. Miss, what is your name? I want to know your name since you are the first person to ever help me. And when I become respected in this village, I will mention you, Naruto said enthusiastically. Anko Mitarashi. What's yours? As she bent down to shake hands with him. Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto said and blushed when he felt her hands. They were soft, which got a giggle from Anko. Why are you blushing, young man? Anko said in a mock-scolding tone. Huh? Oh, well, you see you're the first person who shook hands with me other than the Hokage, and yours is so much softer. Naruto trailed off in a scared tone, almost as if he was going to be beaten, which saddened Anko. Relax, I won't do anything to harm you, so don't worry. Anko told him before grabbing him and disappearing in a shunshin. They were now at her place. Why don't you go take a bath and I will get the food ready? Anko told him before he jumped off her and went to the shower. After about 10 minutes, a clean Naruto came out of the bathroom into the kitchen where there was food on the table waiting for him. Eat up, Naruto-kun, Anko told him. Ita de kamasu, Naruto yelled happily before digging in like a wild beast, which got giggles from Anko. This made Naruto blush. Her giggling just made him feel weird inside. After a while of eating, Naruto immediately fell into a tense silence. Anko was confused. Shouldn't he be happy he got food from her? So, why did you feed me and everything? Naruto said in a broken tone. What do you want from me? Naruto asked her as he sounded like he was about to cry. Nothing. I just fed you because I felt like it, Anko said to him. Yeah, right. Just cut the crap and tell me what you want. Is it to beat me or something? Did the food contain some sort of drug that makes me feel more pain? We are already in your place, in a secluded area, and now you are just going to beat me up now, aren't you? Naruto asked her in a quivering voice. No, I am not going to do anything to you, she said before slowly closing the distance and hugging him. What are you doing? Naruto asked her. I am going to make you trust me. Let's go. You are sleeping in my bed with me tonight, she said before dragging him off to sleep. Needless to say, Naruto had the best sleep of his life and finally found out why grown-ups fuss over those two melon-shaped things. They are the best pillows in the world and make a certain member of his anatomy twitch. To sum it all up, both of them woke up in a very compromising position.
A.N. Omak.
Orochimaru was going to come and pick up his student for some training for the day. When he came to the bedroom, he saw his student with Uzumaki Naruto on top of her. Kukukuku, it seems you are following in my footsteps more than I thought. I think she is ready to learn the way of the pedophile, Kukuku, Orochimaru said before leaving the site. N. Flashback end. Ever since then, Anko would come and give him food if she had free time, which was once a week or so. But after a while she had to go to a training trip with her sensei, and then she got betrayed and was going through therapy that she forgot about Naruto. However, he found his foster family a few weeks after she left, so he didn't hold it against her. It's nice to see you again, Anko-chan, Naruto said to her. Yeah, you too, brat, Anko said, which got a chuckle from Naruto. Still calling me that? Naruto asked her. Well, I was gonna, but then I noticed your changes, Anko told him. Good. You already know what happened, don't you? Naruto asked her, and she nodded solemnly. I never knew what happened. If I did, I would have been there to help you. Enko told him. It's okay, you had your own problems to take care of, and it's not like I remembered anything until a month ago. Besides, I understand what Orochimaru did to you. You needed to get through that first. Naruto told her. Anko was in awe of his maturity. She thought he would have burst at his first friend for not visiting him for 7 to 8 years. However, as she thought about how he had to be this mature, she felt sad again. You shouldn't look sad, Anko-chan. It doesn't make you look as beautiful as when you are smiling. Besides, the rest of the genins should be here by now, Naruto said, and she blushed a bit before regaining her composure. After a few minutes, all of the genins filled out the clearing. Sasuke and Sakura kept on looking at Naruto, deciding on when to ask him about these changes. But they were interrupted by the proctor, so they decided to ask him in the tower. All right, maggots. I am your proctor for the second exam and I will explain the rules to you. But first, you have to sign these papers. Enko told them. What are they for? One of the genins asked. They are stating that Konoha is not responsible for your deaths in these exams. Anko said, simply waving her hands while other sweat dropped at how easily she was talking about their death. Now what you have to do is gather 2 of these scrolls and head to the tower in the middle of the forest. Each team will have 1 scroll, either an earth or a heaven scroll. A team must collect both scrolls and head to the tower, and you must have both of these. 2 earth scrolls doesn't count for shit. Killing and everything else is allowed, so be on guard for anything. She paused dramatically. Begin! Anko yelled as she opened the gates and all of the teams ran inside. Omake. Needless to say, Naruto had the best sleep of his life and finally found out why grown-ups fuss over those 2 melon-shaped things. They are the best pillows in the world and make a certain member of his anatomy twitch. To sum it all up, both of them woke up in a very compromising position. Orochimaru was going to come and pick up his student for some training for the day. When he came to the bedroom, he saw his student with Uzumaki Naruto on top of her. Kukukuku, it seems you are following in my footsteps more than I thought. I think she is ready to learn the way of the pedophile. Kukuku, Orochimaru said before leaving the site. Team 7. They were racing through the forest in an awkward silence. They were running through the trees to avoid traps, but there was one thing bothering Sasuke and Sakura. What the fuck happened to Naruto? They were both stealing awkward glances at him, trying to figure out a theory that just might explain what happened to him. Nothing came to mind. What happened? Sakura was going to ask him, but was cut off by Naruto's voice. Just leave it, Sakura. I don't want to talk about it now. I will tell you guys what happened to me after the exams. So let's just focus now. Naruto explained to them, which seemed to satisfy both of them, except for Sakura, who seemed a bit doubtful. Sasuke, though, was tired of Naruto outdoing him, and he vowed that he would show Naruto who is the better of the 2. Stop trying to act cool, Naruto. I don't care about your changes. I am going to go by myself and get the scrolls, Sasuke said to him. That is unwise, Sasuke. We should stick together, Naruto said, feeling annoyed. Stop talking like that. I don't need your advice. I'm leaving, Sasuke said before taking off. Wait, Sasuke-kun. I will come with you, Sakura yelled out to him as she followed to him. However, she never noticed that Naruto had replaced one of her kunai with his own. Fools, Naruto said. I should keep track of them, though. I wouldn't want to disappoint Kakashi-sensei by telling him one of his students just died, Naruto said to himself. Naruto took off in a slightly different direction than Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto runs through the trees for a while until he finds a tall tree. He instantly climbs up the tree to scout for nearby teams and traps. Once he reached the top, he uses his Jujutsu to scout the surrounding area. He finds 2 teams with average chakra levels that are no problem for him. He makes his decision. They will give him the scroll even if they have to give up their lives for it to happen. Naruto was counting on it. Naruto walks into the clearing, making no noise or sound of movement whatsoever. It was scary to even know one could be so quiet. Not a twig, not even a single rustle of leaves. None of the traps set up to protect this unsuspecting team was even close to making contact with this ninja. Give me the scroll you have right now, Naruto said in a simple but cold voice that scared the shit out of them. Who are you? One of them said. Show yourself, another said while the female of the team hid behind the two of them, which seemed to annoy the two of them. Naruto got a good look at them. They were a team of sound ninja, signified by the sound symbol on their headbands. One of the guys was a tall and lanky person with a sort of permanent scowl on his face. He was wearing somewhat of a jumpsuit, but much looser to the point of being baggy with black hair. The other male was an average-looking guy, with a sleeveless shirt and long pants that covered his frame. The female one was the most interesting to Naruto. She had London red hair with glasses on her heart-shaped face that seemed to attract Naruto in some way. Also, he felt like he had a much deeper connection with her right then and there. What confused him, though, was that her appearance made him feel somewhat weird. He felt better just looking at her. Taking in her appearance, her red hair somehow made his eyes linger there for a while. It made a serene feeling of peace warm through him, like the moments he had with his foster family. For a second, he thought he could be happy, but that thought was dispelled by shattered memories and broken dreams. Before his thoughts could linger into unpleasant things that would have made him want to kill this unfortunate team right then and there, he was interrupted by the voice of the tall member of the team. "What, you chicken or something? You just demand our scrolls and not even confront us," he said. "As you wish," Naruto said before appearing in the middle of the clearing. Wasting no time, the two males charged at him thinking that this could be an easy knockout since he was only one person. The tall one reached first, while the shorter one stayed back for some unknown reason. The tall one went up to Naruto with a roundhouse kick, which Naruto ducked under before just pushing him with his hand, making him tumble to the ground. The other one threw two shuriken at him with average speed at Naruto. Naruto just stood there for a while, and just as the shuriken were about to hit him, he caught both of the shuriken, putting two of his fingers in the hole of the shuriken. The sound ninja gets enraged by this act of deliberate mocking and charges at him. Naruto just shakes his head at his foolishness, before simply tripping him over, sending him on top of his other teammate. The female of the group just watched him in horror as he walked calmly toward her. Again, Naruto had a weird feeling, almost as if he didn't want her to fear him, but he just simply shook it off. "Hey, we're not done yet," they yelled in unison. "Perhaps your attempt this time will be more successful," Naruto said simply, "but this time, try a little less direct approach and don't lose your balance." Ignoring his comments, they charged again while throwing two explosive kunai at Naruto, hoping to make him move from his spot. "Pathetic," Naruto said as he simply vanished in a burst of speed and appeared behind the female member of the group, with a blade on her throat. "Give me the scroll. You wouldn't want to lose your teammate for a scroll, would you?" Naruto said. "Like we care about that whore. Orochimaru-sama just likes her because of clan and her sensory prowess. If she died here, we would be the center of attention for him and he would grant us more power." He yelled in frenzy while throwing about 5 kunai with exploding notes attached to it as he was going through hand signs.
Kunai kage bunsin no jutsu.
Kune Shadow Clone Technique.
The mere amount of 5 kunai turned into hundreds of kunai, with exploding notes on each and every one of them. "I should just dodge it. But then she would die for sure. I can't let that happen. I have to push her away so she doesn't take the hit," Naruto thought in desperation as he gathered chakra for his next technique. He then spread his arms out in a perpendicular motion, one in the direction of the female teammate of theirs, and the other hand facing the barrage of kunai and exploding notes. Shinra Tensei, almighty push. Their female teammate was blown back into a nearby tree away from the kunai and its explosion radius, while all of the kunai was blown back a bit, but not before blowing up first. However, Naruto was still in the radius of the explosion since the kunai all blew up at the exact same time. Naruto's form was engulfed by smoke to the sound team, and they two males of the team rushed up to their female teammate. "Karen, give us the scroll. It's obvious that you are just useless as a teammate or anything for that matter," the tall one said as he kicked her in the ribs while she was still down. "Ah, stop it. I'm getting it out," Karen yelled as she reached for her backpack a few meters away from her. Before she could get to it, though, the tall one stepped on her hand. Hard enough the sound of cracking was heard. "We don't need you anymore. We will just take the scroll and let you rot here. Now that I think about it, these exams are the perfect excuse for killing you off." You getting treated like royalty by Orochimaru-sama sicken us all. The tall one said while the shorter one nodded before reaching for her backpack and taking the scroll out. The first male proceeded to take a kunai out to finish her off as she watched in horror as the injury in her ribs was hurting to the point she couldn't even scream. You guys are fighting me. How dare you do this to your own teammate? Naruto yelled in fury as his Jujutsu Sharingan was spinning like crazy, which made the male stop from stabbing Karen. He ran out of the smoke and charged at the two-sound Nin. He just had a few burns here and there and a few scratches too. It wasn't something too serious for the Uzumaki to handle, but he was supposed to come out of this battle without a scratch. He shouldn't have toyed with them. Naruto charged at the tall one, who tried to punch him, but Naruto grabbed his arm and broke it with one swift turning motion. He then procced to break his windpipe using his knuckle as his target choked out blood before dying. He then looked behind him with hateful eyes towards the other male member of the team. Wasting no time, he charged at him with fury. The male member recovers from the shock of his teammate dying before launching a roundhouse kick at Naruto's face. Naruto, expecting this, catches his foot and turns him around, but the sound Nin tries to kick him with his other leg as he was being spun in midair, trying to use the momentum of Naruto's own force on himself. Naruto, having quick reflexes, ducks under this and channels chakra into the palm of his hand, and then he hits the sound ninja stomach hard enough to make him sail through the air while breaking through a tree. Naruto used so much force that some of his ribs punctured his lungs, and Naruto just watched as the desperate sound ninja wheezed around for air, vomiting blood all the while. After making sure he was dead, he picked up the scroll from the deceased sound ninja before turning to Karen, who was cowering in fear a few meters away from him. He checks the scroll. It was a heaven scroll. They could pass now and get out. If he still had the earth scroll with him. Anyways, back to Naruto and Karen. Stay away from me, you monster. Karen yells desperately as she held onto her ribs. Naruto just walks up to Karen and unseals a first aid kit. Those injuries look like they hurt. Naruto said, simply pulled her hand forcefully and gently bandages her up while readjusting her bones. Ah, that hurts. Karen yelled before quieting at his glare. Shut up. I am helping you, Naruto said as he looked over her stomach. Lift your shirt, Naruto said as he reached for some more bandages. Pervert. I am not going to do that, Karen yelled. Do you want to end up like your friend over there? He died because I punctured his lungs by breaking his ribs. Unless you want that to happen, just pull your shirt up, Naruto said. Okay, Karen said with a quivering voice as she pulled her shirt up to reveal her stomach. All right, I don't know how to heal this with a first aid kit, but I discovered that my chakra can heal injuries. So I am going to pump some of my chakra to you, Naruto said. It's all right. I know some medical ninjutsu, Karen said as a green glow covered her hands and she started healing herself. You should stick with me. The ninja will think of you as an easy target if you stay here, Naruto said to her while he waited patiently for her to finish healing. We better get moving. Climb onto my back, Naruto said while Karen blushed a bit before climbing on. Also, I am going to channel some of my chakra, so you don't feel so much pain as we are going to be moving fast, Naruto informed her. First, we have to find my team, Naruto said as he began to move through the trees. After a while of running through the trees, Karen tells Naruto to stop, who also got some information from his clone. His team was fighting somebody strong. I sense a battle nearby, Karen said as she looked like she was concentrating. Naruto's eyes perked up. She could be sensing his team's fight. You are a sensory ninja? Naruto asked her. Yeah. There are two of them, one of them being a slightly higher than average chakra and a chakra that is disappointingly low, and Karen stopped. What's wrong? You're shivering? Naruto asked her as he stopped. It's Orochimaru, Karen yelled. Wait, Orochimaru of the Sannin? Naruto asked her. Yeah, he is the leader of my village and he wants the Sharingan really badly. So this is what he was planning for in the chunin exams. Your village has an Uchiha, right? Karen asked him. Oh shit, Sasuke is going to get his ass handed to him, Naruto said as he picked up the pace. I can feel them getting closer, Karen said after a while. After about 10 minutes of running at as fast as a pace Naruto could manage with Karen on his back, they reached the place. It was not looking good for Team 7. Sasuke was on the ground, severely bruised, as Orochimaru was openly mocking the last Uchiha. Naruto created a few clones. Stay with one of my clones, Karen. The rest of you clones, surround the area. Naruto said in an imperative tone. Naruto nodded at the clones, who nodded back. The plan was going to be set into motion. One of the clones threw kunai at Orochimaru, who easily dodged it, but 2 more kunai came from the other direction, forcing him to jump. However, 2 more kunai was thrown at him, which transformed into 2 Narutos, while both having a wind blade on their hand. Futon. Kaze no Yaiba, wind release, blade of wind. Orochimaru's eyes widened in surprise. No genin should be capable of such a feat. He just replaced himself with a mud clone to take the hit. Anticipating this, the actual Naruto emerges from his hiding spot behind the unsuspecting Orochimaru. So you are the infamous Orochimaru of the legendary Sannin, Naruto said in a calm, clear voice, which got wide eyes from Sasuke and Sakura. And who might you be, child? Orochimaru said with an interested smirk. I am Naruto Uzumaki, and you better leave my teammates alone, Naruto said as he activated his Jujutsu while he covered it with a small Genjutsu just on his eyes. I can't let Orochimaru know of my Jujutsu. Although he can probably dispel this weak Genjutsu, I won't give him the chance to do so, Naruto thought as many battle plans started forming in his head. How interesting, Orochimaru said. But I cannot do that. Then you leave me with no choice, Naruto said in a cold and confident voice. Naruto charges at Orochimaru. Orochimaru, seeing this, just smirked before shooting 2 snakes out of his hands. Without hesitation, Naruto kept on charging before decapitating the 2 snakes with 1 kunai with WND chakra charged up into the kunai. Orochimaru stopped for a minute, not expecting such quick thinking, before launching up his next technique. He shoots dozens of snakes out of his mouth, and Naruto just stands there, not moving. The snakes finally reach him and bite him, but Naruto turned out to be a log. Orochimaru, expecting this, was instantly on guard. However, what surprised him the most was that he could not find Naruto anywhere. Just as he was about to think that Naruto ran away, Naruto charged from behind Orochimaru from the bushes with a wind blade ready to go. Orochimaru, not having enough time to dodge, had to take the hit. As Naruto's hand tore through Orochimaru's skin, Orochimaru dissolved into a mud clone. Naruto, however, was expecting this and jumped back. However, a snake the size of an average anaconda came up from behind and tried to swallow to Naruto, who glowed for a bit before exploding. Bunshin Daibakuha. How does a mere genin know this technique? Orochimaru thought. To Orochimaru's surprise, Naruto comes from behind with a roundhouse kick. Orochimaru blocks the kick with his forearm. Naruto, a bit surprised by this, puts his hand on the ground and uses it to propel himself upward in a spinning motion. In the air, Naruto executes a kick hurricane with such skill that even Orochimaru is momentarily stunned by it. Before Orochimaru can gather his wits, Naruto charged at him and performed a backflip kick, sending the slithery bastard into the air. Giving Orochimaru no time to recover, Naruto grabs him by the legs and rams his shoulder into Orochimaru's stomach, sending him sailing through the air while he was going through hand seals at an astoundingly fast pace. I should try to do as much as damage as possible from this attack. I probably won't get another chance like this, Naruto thought as he prepared his jutsu. Rantun, Ryza Sakasu, Storm Release, Laser Circus. Naruto yelled out as a barrage of laser beams shot out of his hands at a tremendous rate. Orochimaru gasped in horror as he saw this monstrous attack coming toward, and he had no means of avoiding it. Boom! Naruto scanned the surrounding area with his Jujutsu. There were destroyed trees everywhere, and a huge black spot was on the ground. It seemed the laser circus most affected on that spot. Animals were running about, and he looked around and found his team was unharmed from the jutsu. He could see Orochimaru rising from the black spot with a smirk on his face and what seemed like second-degree burns on most of his body. Orochimaru, though, to Naruto's confusion, started laughing maliciously. You would be very good vessel for me in the future. You are by far the one of the strongest, if not the strongest, genin in these exams. Too bad you don't have a Sharingan or a bloodline, though, Orochimaru said as he smirked. What he did next surprised Naruto. He started shedding. Naruto watched in amazement as all of Orochimaru's wounds disappeared. Naruto knew a technique like that would require a large amount of chakra, so Orochimaru can't do it too many times. Naruto knew if he could keep this up, they might just have a chance in survival. Naruto jumped off the elevated area on which he was standing. He knew he could not pull off this kind of chakra-consuming jutsu so many times. He would have to rely on the Kyuubi's chakra, but there was one problem. Naruto could not control it. He would have to rely on taijutsu until he finds the right opportunity for his jutsu. That was my most powerful jutsu, except for the Wind Blade and the Shinra Tensei, and he just shook it off like it was nothing. I need a plan to beat, or at least stall this guy until the Hokage or something sends some people down here. I mean, that was an A-rank jutsu that most of the village should be able to sense, right? Naruto thought as he planned out scenarios to escape this guy. He knew he could not waste much more time. Naruto charged at Orochimaru once more. This time Orochimaru took no chance. He sent hundreds of snakes towards Naruto. Naruto knew he could not escape. Shinra Tensei, Ali mighty push. Orochimaru gasped in surprise. What is this technique? I have never even heard of such a technique, to push back such things with such force. Except maybe Pain. Does this kid have the same bloodline as Pain, the legendary Rinnegan? I have to investigate on him some more. Anyways, I am losing quite a lot of time. The sound and chakra barrier will run out of chakra soon, and I still haven't marked Sasuke-kun yet. I have to hurry up. I wouldn't want Sarutobi-sensei finding where I am just yet. Besides, I can find out more about you during the final part of the exam. Naruto-kun. Orochimaru thought. Naruto charged at Orochimaru with a right hook, which Orochimaru ducked under. Naruto, not wanting to give Orochimaru space to attack, did a roundhouse kick, which Orochimaru caught with surprising speed. Orochimaru proceeded to push Naruto's leg so that his front was facing him and hit him with a devastating punch in the stomach that knocked the wind out of him. Naruto was not given a chance to recover as Orochimaru spun and landed a vicious kick on Naruto's head, sending him flying. What? I was able to keep up with him before, but now, he was going easy on me. He was probably just testing out my power. I will probably have to resort to the Kyuubi's chakra at this rate, but that will leave me seriously exhausted to do anything else. It is more of a double-edged sword than anything else at this point. Besides, I am pretty sure I still can't beat this guy with one tail, which is all I can control at this point. Naruto thought desperately. Although it was amusing, I wasted enough time with you. I'll let my summon have a little fun with you, Orochimaru said as he went through hand seals.
Kuchiyose no jutsu.
Summoning technique.
Orochimaru summons a large snake. It was a huge snake, brownish in color and about the size of a 10-story building. It started to hiss while looking at Naruto, savoring the meal to come. Naruto just stood in frustration. He knew he did not have much more chakra to spare. Naruto would have to finish this quickly and efficiently for his sake and Sasuke's. Naruto had a plan, but it was a long shot. It was, however, his best chance.
Kage Bunshin no jutsu.
Shadow Clone Jutsu. All but one of Naruto's clones surrounded the creature and began to explode. The snake became infuriated and tried to attack the one who it thought was the real one. After it swallowed Naruto, it had something akin to a smug smile, thinking that it had swallowed its prey. It was disappointed as some of the clones around it were not dispelling, and before it knew what was going on, it felt its insides boiling. Boom! The snake's insides were flying everywhere, while the snake's head landed right in front of the real Naruto, who just shook his head at the snake. Now he had to save his team. His team! He took too long taking out the snake. Naruto rushed to the direction of his team. When he got there, he was too late. Orochimaru was stretching his own neck and doing something to Sasuke's neck, which probably meant something vital. Once he got a closer look, he realized Orochimaru was biting his neck. What the fuck? Naruto quickly threw kunai at Orochimaru's elongated neck, who retreated his neck at the last second. Suddenly, Sasuke started screaming in pain, while purple chakra violently flared around him. Sakura screamed in horror and ran towards him to aid him. Naruto just stood there breathless. He could not do it. He could not save him in time even after all his training. He knew sulking would not help. Naruto had to get Sasuke help soon. Orochimaru watched with a devious grin. "Soon you will come to me for power, Sasuke-kun," Orochimaru said as he blended into the trees. "Sakura, where is the Earth Scroll?" Naruto asked as he created a shadow clone. Sasuke-kun gave it to Orochimaru thinking he would leave us alone, Sakura said timidly while Naruto sighed in frustration. Crap, now they could not hurry to the tower and get Sasuke checked out. "I'm going to go get another Earth Scroll. Don't worry, this clone will take care of you. Take care of Sasuke till I get back," Naruto said as he began to leave. "Okay, hurry," Sakura said with tears in her eyes. "Follow my clone and set up camp. My clone will also set up some traps, so don't worry about that," Naruto said over his shoulder. Sakura nodded and followed his clone. "Hey!" a new voice said to him, and Naruto, realizing it was Karen, smiled. "Good. I thought you were caught by my jutsu or something," Naruto said.
No.
"I am fine," Karen said before a silence fell upon them. Naruto started running through the trees while Karen followed him. "So, your injuries are healed?" Naruto asked her. "Yeah, your chakra does wonders," Karen replied. "So, what are you going to do now?" Naruto asked her. "I don't know. I never really like it back home. The Sound Village is incredibly sexist, and if it wasn't for Orochimaru, I would have been abused a lot. A lot of the people there hate me since Orochimaru favors me for some reason. He says I am from an important clan." Karen trailed off. "You can stay in the village. I have some connection with the hokage of the village," Naruto blurted out, which surprised even him. "I don't know. I am not an official sound ninja since Orochimaru is making the strong ones ninja first since it is a new village and he needs some more time to make it official. However, it could still create a dispute between your village and mine," Karen said in a sad tone. "We'll figure something out. Anyways, what clan are you from?" Naruto said. I think something like the Uzumaki," Karen said with her finger on her chin in a thinking pose. Naruto stopped dead on his tracks, stumbling a bit as he did so. "What? You're from the Uzumaki clan?" "I am from that clan," Naruto asked her in surprise. "Really?" Karen asked him. "Yeah." Naruto paused for a moment. Well, that solves your problem. If we are from the same clan, I can virtually adopt you into my clan," Naruto said. "You really can?" Karen said with hope in her voice. "Yeah, I think so. Besides, I am on good terms with the Hokage," Naruto said. "Oh, that's good," Karen said cheerfully before she took on a concentrated expression. "I sense a team nearby," Karen said. "All right, stay here and I am going to get their scroll," Naruto said. "Okay. Be careful," Karen said, blushing. Naruto just smiles back. He moved closer. He saw 2 males and 1 female, same as last time but from a mechagure. Naruto could not waste much time and he would try to avoid lethal force. A straightforward approach would suffice. They probably would not put up much of a fight. Naruto then jumped into the clearing right in front of them but keeping a reasonable distance. "Give me the scroll," Naruto said in harsh tone. "Come and take it, bitch," one of the ninja, who was rather scrawny, replied as he began to throw numerous kunai at Naruto. Naruto said nothing as he dodged them one by one, moving so fast it appeared to the aim ninja as if he was teleporting. After Naruto got close enough, he picked up the ninja with one hand. The female member of the team quickly threw kunai at his back, thinking that she could get a clean hit and save her friend. However, Naruto saw this coming and used the ninja as a human shield, making the 3 kunai stab him with a dull thunk on his back. He threw the ninja back to the female as she watched in disbelief. She, acting quickly, took the kunai out of his back and started healing him rapidly. The other male member saw this and got enraged. He quickly threw a kunai at Naruto, who just dodged by tilting his head. But the kunai was explosive, so it blew up. The ninja relaxed, thinking he had killed his target, but instantly stiffened when a kunai was pressed against his neck. "Where is your scroll?" Naruto asked them while the one who was being held as a hostage just looked down at shame. It's right here, the female member said as she handed him a heaven scroll. Shit, Naruto muttered. He could not use the scroll directly, but maybe he could trade scrolls with allies or something. He quickly shunshined back to Karen. He appeared in a cackle of lightning and saw Karen looking bored, trying to find something to do. Hey, I'm back. I only got a heaven scroll. And, that reminds me, aren't you going to compete in the exams anymore? You can have this heaven scroll if you want, Naruto said. No, I am not. My team is gone, and I don't like fighting much anyway, Karen replied. Oh, sorry about that. You know, the team, Naruto told her when she gave him a questioning glance. It's fine. I never really liked them anyway, Karen said with a smile. They always used to undermine and abuse her, and she never liked them. There was a peaceful silence on their way back to the camp, but that never lasts. Naruto suddenly got a memory back from his clone. His team was getting ambushed, and it doesn't look good for Team 7. Naruto picked up the pace, which got a question from Karen. Why are you going so fast? Karen asked him. My team is getting attacked, Naruto told her. Damn, that was very stupid of me to just rush out and try to get another scroll. My team is seriously prone to enemy attacks now. I should have waited for a while. Maybe when Sasuke felt better, Naruto thought as he picked up his pace further. Team 7. When Naruto left. Sakura sighed in frustration. Sasuke was still sick, that bite did something to him, and now he had a burning fever. Naruto's clone had brought her and Sasuke to a clearing with trees surrounding all sides, a few trees to sleep in, and a good place to set up camp in overall. She was thankful for that, since she doubts she could handle any opposing team. Naruto's clone went off to set up traps. Although he didn't have enough chakra as he was a clone to set up the explosive traps, he could still make traps that should at least notify them of a team. He came back after about 10 minutes. There was a silence between them. A silence that the clone found enjoyable and Sakura found awkward. However, after a while, that silence was broken by none other than Naruto. Somebody is coming here. Get ready for a fight, Naruto's clone told her. He could, with his sensible hearing, hear some teammates swearing loudly at his traps. Then, he heard something about Orochimaru forcing someone somewhere. What? Is it Orochimaru sending another team? They are so close that if I dispel to inform the boss now, they will kill Sakura and Sasuke. I have to make another clone and dispel it to notify boss. However, that is all the chakra boss gave me since he was running a bit low on it. I will have to rely on taijutsu. Naruto's clone thought as the team emerged from a tree. They were a group of sound nin. One of them had dark spiky hair, beige shirt, and black pants. The other was a scrawny-looking ninja who wore a large poncho with bandages covering most of his face, giving off a mummy-like look. The female teammate had long black hair wearing a green flak jacket. He quickly made a shadow clone into a kunai and threw it at the team. No use wasting my chakra, might as well use it, the clone thought. However, the kunai was blown away by the spiky-haired ninja's weird technique, in which he blew what seemed like air out of these holes in his hands. Naruto, thinking quickly, kicks the kunai near the ninja who smirked smugly since he missed. The kunai transformed into another clone, which landed a vicious uppercut on the sound ninja's chin. The other member of the team, the mummy-looking one, quickly pointed his gauntlets at the clone. The clone, thinking quickly, dodged it by jumping to the left. Next, the female member of the team threw numerous kunai at the clone, and surprisingly, the clone could not dodge it. It dispelled in a puff of smoke, and the clone back with Sakura was surprised at the new information he got from the clone. The waves he launched from his gauntlet missed, but they still somehow affected the clone and made him unbalanced. He didn't know what it was, but the clone knew not to narrowly dodge those sound waves. He shouldn't even be within a radius of that technique. Don't worry, Naruto will be here soon, the remaining clone said. I'll hold them off until then. I'll help, Sakura said. No, you don't stand a chance. I am saying this for your own safety, and besides you have to protect Sasuke, Naruto said with a reassuring smile. Enough talk. Where is the Uchiha? Said the spiky-haired ninja. If you want him, you gotta get through me, the clone said, and with that the clone charged. Pathetic. The mummy, looking Nin said as he raised the gauntlets. However, before he could fire his jutsu, everybody felt an ominous presence. They looked to see Sasuke waking up from his spot, covered in a purple chakra essence, with marks framing the left side of his face and his left arm. Sasuke gave off an evil grin. This was the power he needed to kill his brother. His next obstacle was this team, and there would be no more obstacles in his path to avenge his family, to kill his brother. In an instant, he appeared behind the spiky-haired ninja and grabbed his two arms. He proceeded to pull his arms and bend it in an unnatural angle. "It seems you like these arms of yours very much," Sasuke said with that evil grin still plastered on his face while the captured ninja screamed in pain. "Please, don't!" the ninja screamed in desperation. Sasuke just smirked before pulling, and a cracking sound was heard. Sasuke was about to completely rip the ninja's arm out. "Stop it, Sasuke!" The original Naruto screamed at him as he emerged with a panting Karen behind him.
Dobe.
"Come fight me now. With this power, I can definitely beat you. I will show you, you will not be able to show me up anymore." Sasuke screamed at him with utmost determination in his eyes. What the fuck is wrong with Sasuke? That thing on his neck. Is that a seal of some sorts? That could explain something about this rapid intake of power from Sasuke. So, Orochimaru wants to tempt Sasuke with power to join him. Naruto thought, I will have to knock him out and check that seal. Sasuke starts off with hand seals. He quickly shouts his next jutsu. Katan, Gukakyu no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Fireball Technique. Sasuke spews out a humongous ball of fire, much bigger than any of his previous jutsu. Naruto, thinking quickly, sees a stream nearby and goes through hand seals. Suetun, Suijin Hiki, Water Release, Water Encampment Wall. A wall of water surrounds Naruto, blocking the fireball. Naruto emerges from the smoke and starts spitting water bullets. Suetun, Teppadama, Water Style, Water Bullet. Sasuke uses his speed to dodge the water bullets and retaliates by spitting balls of fire. Katan, Hosenka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Naruto channels chakra into his feet and uses his speed to dodge them. Sasuke then charges with a right hook, to which Naruto ducks. Naruto then goes for a uppercut, but Sasuke dodges and quickly does a roundhouse kick. Naruto blocks this, but Sasuke quickly uses his other leg to dish out a devastating kick. Naruto blocks this and Sasuke goes for a punch. Naruto dodges the punch and drives his knee into Sasuke's stomach. Naruto then smashes Sasuke into the ground with an elbow to the neck, knocking Sasuke unconscious, causing the marks to recede back into the seal. Naruto then looked up at Sakura, who was awestruck by both of their skills. She was just holding them back. "What's wrong, Sakura?" Naruto said with smile.
Oh, nothing, Naruto-kun.
Sakura said shyly. "Okay, let's get moving," Naruto said. "I'll carry Sasuke. Come on, Karen, let's go." "Okay," Karen said with squeaky voice. "The tower is not so far from here," Naruto said. Chapter 5. Team 7 and Karen just arrived in the tower. It was almost evening. It seemed it was about 5 o'clock, and it was just about to get dark. They headed inside, all exhausted and tired, and got a riddle. Naruto quickly scanned over the riddle, thinking of an answer to it. Knowledge, power, heaven and earth. Oh, I get it, Naruto thought. Naruto proceeded to open up the two scrolls in his hands, both of which started sizzling, as if it would explode. Naruto quickly threw them across the floor. The scrolls sizzled a bit more before a puff of smoke revealed their academy teacher, Umino Irika. "I am glad to see that you have passed this test, and now I am going to explain what happened to Sasuke," Irika asked as he saw Sasuke slumped upon a shoulder of the Naruto clones. "We just had a fight with someone strong. Anyways, Irika-sensei, you can take care of this, right?" Naruto said, motioning to Sasuke. "I have something important to say to the Hokage. Something very important," Naruto stressed. Sure, Naruto. I will see to it that Sasuke here is given some medical attention. When you are finished talking to the Hokage, you need to come back here. So, catch you later," Iruka said before taking Sasuke and rushing off. Naruto just nodded at Sakura, grabbed Karen by her hand, which got a blush from said girl, and shunshined right outside the Hokage's office. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX recovering from a blush and rubbing his nose? Aika, of course. Gigi. The Hokage smiled at this. It seemed Naruto trusted him a bit more. Although his relationships with others of this village were a bit dysfunctional or non-existent, unless you count hatred as a relationship, it was expected. I have something really important to talk to you about. This is something to do with Orochimaru. Here is what I know so far. You see the girl beside me? Yeah, I will explain that too. So here goes. Orochimaru attacked us in the forest of death. What? The Hokage yelled out in surprise. He was unnerved when Naruto mentioned Orochimaru. But this? Yeah, and let me finish what I have to say. Orochimaru attacked us to put this seal on Sasuke's neck. It is some sort of a seal that allows the user to gain a lot more power. From my brief amount of time studying it, I have concluded these things. The seal has a portion of Orochimaru's consciousness and life force, and it gives the user tremendous power. I am pretty sure it is a bloodline, though. The seal contains an unrefined enzyme that is secreted into the body with Orochimaru's bite. I am not completely sure what it is, but I am sure you do, right? Naruto asked him. Yes, it is the cursed seal. I never knew it had a portion of Orochimaru's life force in it, though. This is grave news. I'm not done yet. Karen here is from the same Otogekure, and it seems this village's leader is Orochimaru himself. Orochimaru probably used this as a distraction to get to Sasuke. He wants the Sharingan, he wants it bad. That's not all. That much was obvious, and it didn't trouble me very much. However, Orochimaru plans to use the Chunin exams finals to sneak in some high-class shinobi. Karen overheard a part of their plan before Orochimaru told her to leave. Naruto paused and saw the hardened face of his leader. Yeah, that means he might just attack Konoha. Naruto finished the Sandame's thoughts. They can't possibly have enough power to attack this village. That is foolish. The Hokage spoke out his thoughts. It was confusing. Konoha clearly had the advantage. Unless, the Hokage trailed off. What is it? Naruto asked. Iwa has always hated us, and there have been some conflicts with Suna lately. Their daimyo have been forwarding most of their missions to Konoha, and it had created some tension between the two villages. Orochimaru might just be able to use that, and I am worried he will. The Hokage said with a downcast look on his. He did not want to see his ninja die. Nevertheless, I am sure Orochimaru has a plan of some sort. I just wanted you to know. Oh, and I was wondering if you would hire any more shinobi. Naruto asked while nervously scratching the back of his head, grinning like an idiot. This girl. Naruto seems so much happier with her. And that smile. I haven't seen that smile in so long. It was a trademark smile for the hyperactive Naruto. This girl could help him, much like Haku. Naruto seems to be happy with the people he cares about, but completely hates everybody else. Well, that's still a pretty bad sign for Konoha, but an improvement. The Sandame thought. Why? He asked Naruto. Well, you see, I was hoping you could take Karen here as a shinobi. Naruto paused for a bit. Before you say you can't, hear my reasoning out. First, she has valuable information about what Orochimaru plans to do, and she is willing to share what she knows. Second, she is a very good sensor. She has a technique that she can use to differentiate chakra signatures no matter the number of people there are. You have to agree that this is a very valuable technique. Third, she is also an Uzumaki. Naruto trailed off while the Hokage gasped in surprise. She had the trademark red hair of the Uzumaki clan. I see. Well, I guess we can do this. We just have to make it seem like she died during these exams. We still have to go through standard protocol. She will be regular citizen for 6 months before she can join our forces since she was another village's shinobi. I have gotten an apartment ready for Haku. Maybe those two can live together. The apartment does have a guest bedroom there. The Hokage said with a perverted smile which unnerved Naruto. Both of them in one apartment might cause some tension, but Naruto will be thanking me when those two. The Hokage quickly wiped some blood off his nose. Ahem. Then, she will be given a test and promoted to the rank of genin. However, before all this happens, she needs to go to T&I and give as much as information she can about the invasion. And you, Naruto, need to be in the tower. Off you two go. I will see to it that Karen is escorted properly. The Hokage finished with a sigh. Naruto nodded before looking at Karen with a smile, an action that was returned. Thank you so much, Naruto-kun. Karen trailed off. It's nothing, don't worry about it. I care for you, and it's only right that I do this, Naruto said, which caused Karen to blush. Anyways, I gotta get to the tower. Just don't worry and trust the old geezer. He won't do anything harmful to you, Naruto assured her. The Hokage smiled a bit at the interaction before sighing as a weary look came across his face. I'm getting too old for this shit, the Hokage thought. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX before going back to the tower. Also, Naruto wanted to see Haku for some reason. Confused him why, but he just spun it off as a positive feeling. As he walked up to his door, he thought about barging in, but decided against it when he remembered what Haku was doing last time. He blushed before knocking. Haku heard it and started walking to the door with few senbon in her hand, just in case it was some villager that came to thrash his apartment. She opened the door, and to her surprise, she found Naruto standing outside smiling. "Hey, can I come in?" Naruto asked her. "Ah." Haku looked at her attire and blushed. She thought Naruto wouldn't be home for a while, at least 3 or 4 days. Since most of her own clothes were in the laundry and the others she had trouble finding, she just wore one of Naruto's overgrown shirts. And panties. "Ah, wait, I just need to change a bit," Haku said with a tomato-red blush covering her face before making a beeline towards her bedroom. Before she could close the door, Naruto caught a glimpse of her. "Was that my shirt?" Naruto thought. Back with Haku, she was frantically looking for her clothes and failing miserably to do so. "Where the fuck are my clothes?" Haku thought in desperation. "Haku, you all right in there?" Naruto called out. "Yeah, just fine," Haku yelled back. "All right, I am just going to take a bath and leave. I have to go back to the tower in a bit," Naruto called back. "By the way, have you seen where my spare change of clothes is?" Naruto asked her. By this time, Haku had changed into a loose-fitting shirt and shorts. "I think they are in here," Haku yelled, seeing his signature cloak. Naruto walks in wearing nothing but a towel. Haku blushes before looking away, and Naruto quickly grabs his clothes before going to the bathroom. He was in the shower for about 15 minutes. Haku didn't see Naruto much, and she really missed him from time to time. Little did she know Naruto felt the same way.
"Hey listen, Haku.
"Since I have some time before I head back to the tower, I was wondering if you wanted to grab a bite to eat," Naruto said in a weird voice. "You mean like a date?" Haku asked with a squeaky voice. "Well, I don't know. It can be whatever you want it to be, I guess." Naruto trailed off looking a bit shy. What? He did not have much experience with girls. "Why? Don't you want to go on a date with me?" Haku asked in a timid voice. "What? Of course I want to. Who wouldn't want to go on a date with you? I mean, you're beautiful, kind, interesting, and intelligent. You're very cute and any guy would be lucky to have you," Naruto said with conviction, which led to Haku developing a new shade of red. Haku let out a squeak before rushing over to her room to change for her date. "So, is that a no?" Naruto asked her. After about 5 minutes, Haku came out wearing nice civilian clothes. She wore a nice, long dark blue bordering black dress that hugged her body really well, showing off her curves and her assets. It seemed much bigger because she had taken off her bindings, and Naruto had to force himself to look away. "Let's go," Naruto said. "I'm sorry, but we have to go to Ichiraku's since all the other shops either overcharge me or kick me out," Naruto said with a sad smile, while Haku just nodded. Naruto and Haku were walking to Ichiraku, making small talk on the way. When they arrived, Naruto decided not to gross her out, and ordered 12 miso ramens while Haku ordered 1 vegetable ramen. Naruto would have none of that, though. Come on, Haku, have a miso or a pork ramen. The ramen here is amazing, and it's not like you really need to watch your weight. Naruto tried to persuade her, and she ordered one pork ramen. The rest of the date passed while they were talking and getting to know one another. Haku told Naruto of her past, and how she felt when her father killed her mom. When she killed her own father, how guilty she felt. When Haku started crying, Naruto decided the date was over. Naruto paid the bill and picked up Haku bridal style. As Naruto was taking her back to the apartment, he tried to comfort her by saying soothing things into her ear. After they came home, Haku stopped crying and apologized for ruining their date, which Naruto just waved off. I had a fun time just being with you, Naruto reassured her, which got a smile from Haku. Anyways, I should take off dash. You can stay for a while longer, can't you? I'm feeling lonely, Haku said. Sure, I can, Naruto said with a smile. They spent 2 hours there, just talking and comforting one another. She got Naruto to open up and talk a bit about his past. He told her about some of first memories, the lesser stories of his childhood. He told her about them kicking him out of the orphanage, and he lived in the streets for a year. How they came weekly, sometimes daily, and beat, stabbed, tortured, and maimed him. He told her that he met his foster family then, but instantly stopped as red chakra began pouring out of his body. Haku had her eyes wide while tears were freely flowing down her face as she listened to his story. When the red chakra started pouring out, she instantly hugged him. Naruto was surprised before hugging her back as the chakra receded back. I'm sorry, I didn't want to lose control like that. I don't like to talk about my past. It's okay. I can't imagine the things you had to go through, and I don't know how you keep going. How can you not just take it out on the villagers? Haku asked him. I hate them, okay? I hate them, but I am trying my best not to just blow up and kill them. I don't think I can ever forgive them, but I can try my best to just ignore them for now. I now realize that my dream of becoming Hokage is foolish, and I can't become one. I want to so bad, but I realize that I am not fit to become Hokage. Naruto paused and let out a shaky breath. I even thought of leaving this village. This earned a startled gasp from Haku. Don't say that. What would we do without you? Me, the Hokage, Irika, Kakashi, and even the 2 ramen chefs care about you so much. We would be devastated if you left. You have friends here, you can stay. Haku yelled, trying her best to convince him to stay while Naruto's eyes darkened. Really? You guys would be devastated if I left? The Hokage is the fucking Hokage. He has better shit to do than worry about me. Irika? He is just an academy teacher looking out for his student who was failing so miserably, he had to personally help him. Kakashi-sensei doesn't give half of a rat's ass about me and would rather suck Sasuke's dick than train or pay attention to me for a second. Ayam and Tuchi-san just care about me since I just go to their shop often and eat a lot. We just met, you would forget about me the moment I left and move on. In less than 1 day, you would forget I ever existed dash. He was interrupted by Haku slapping him across the face. I told you stop talking like that. We all do care about you a lot. It's not true. You mean a lot to us. I don't know what I would do without you. You are the only person in this entire village that cares about me. I have nobody else, so please for my sake stay. You can't give up hope. These people will come around one day.
Haku yelled frantically.
Besides, you don't need them, you have us, and we care about you a lot. I care about you a lot. More than a friend. She trailed off. Haku smiled before looking him in the eyes. Naruto smiled back down at her before both of them started to inch closer, closing the gap bit by bit between them. Her lips were parted as she had a cute blush on her face. I have feelings for you, Naruto-kun, Haku said in a quiet tone. In a moment's haste, Naruto finally took her lips in for the kiss. It started out as a passionate, innocent kiss as they rubbed their lips together. After a while of this, Haku got a bit bolder as she parted her lips and started licking his lower lip for entrance as Naruto hastily complied. Naruto jumped a bit in shock as she started to prod her tongue into his mouth, but soon started battling her tongue with his own. It started slow, because of their inexperience, but Naruto proved to be a quick learner as he pushed his tongue into her mouth and started to lick her moist cavern. That was it. That was the last straw. As Haku got on top of Naruto and started grinding their intimate parts together as Haku let out a throaty moan. Naruto, liking the sound of her moan, started to grind with her. The room was filled with Haku's moan and cries of pleasure as Naruto started finding all of her hot spots. Kissing her neck, occasionally biting it and licking it, giving her a hickey. His hands had minds of their own as they started going up and down her sides, caressing her before landing on her shapely ass. As they started making out again, it was sloppy and filled with lust with occasional squeeze that made Haku moan. They went on for a good 20 minchus, letting each other take breaths in between kisses before both of them parted lips. Haku whimpered cutely at the loss of contact, while both of them had huge blushes on their faces. "Wow," Haku said, summarizing what happened to them as Naruto nodded vigorously, unable to form coherent words at this point as his brain was trying to cope with what happened. Naruto, in his hormonal state, kept on noticing her pink lips as they looked swollen and puffy, which made it seem so much luscious to him. However, before he could do that again, he remembered that he needed to be in the tower. "Shit, Haku-chan, I have to go. The exams aren't finished and I just might get disqualified if I stay here too long. But, as soon as I get back, I'm gonna visit you and take you out on our next date," Naruto said with a smile as he kissed her nose, making her blush cutely. He put on his cloak before jumping out of the window. He just sat there for a while, trying to calm himself. Besides, if he enters the tower with an erection at this time of the night, it might look weird or people would get the wrong idea. After calming himself down, he shined over to the tower and sneakily made his way into his team's room. While this was happening, Haku was on cloud 9, fantasizing about Naruto and letting out girlish squeals of joy that would no doubt freak out the neighbors. Time skip. Preliminaries begin. All of the genin were lined up and waiting for their hokage to appear and tell them what they had to do for the part of the test. Some genin were anxious, some nervous, some excited, and some even downright scared. After a while, the hokage came and started explaining to them that they had to take preliminaries since there are too many people passing the second stage of the exams. Then, he went on to more boring stuff. Naruto wasn't really listening. After a while, the proctor came up and started explaining the rules to the preliminaries, which got the attention of everybody in the room. They were in outrage, well, some of them, as they were still tired from the second exam. Then, the proctor explained that there are too many people and asked if anybody wanted to forfeit. Kabuto Yakushi, for some reason, forfeited. Naruto was wary of the guy. That was just too convenient. With the way he was acting, Naruto wouldn't be surprised if he turned out to be a spy, but he didn't have much proof and all the others except the Hokage would just disregard. Names started flashing on the screen, showing who would be fighting. It flashed, showing Sasuke versus Kiba. Both of them got down from their places and stood on the arena, glaring at each other. "Heh, we got this, Akamaru," Kiba yells in fake confidence. "Should watch what you say, loser. It would take 1,000,000 years for you to come close to beat me," Sasuke replies back. Kiba growls at Sasuke, nods at Akamaru, and they both charge at Sasuke. Sasuke, though, remembered that Kakashi-sensei told him to not rely on jutsu since it would accelerate the curse mark's influence over him. Sasuke just charged back at them. Kiba tries to punch Sasuke, which he, with surprising speed, dodges and follows up with a knee to the stomach. As Kiba got hit, Akamaru quickly charges up and lunges at Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't have enough time as his knee was still lodged in Kiba's stomach, received a scratch across his right shoulder blade. Kiba, though, got ticked off, so he decided to speed things up a bit as he made Akamaru swallow a red pill, while Sasuke looked on in confusion. Jujin Bunshin, Beast Human Clone. Akamaru transformed into a clone of Kiba, with Akamaru being on top of Kiba. Both of them were growling very much like a dog at their target. Kitsuga. Fong over Fong. Akamaru and Kiba took off in a running start and started spinning, turning themselves into miniature tornadoes as they charged. It came from both directions, one from his left and one to the right. He tried jumping back, and to his surprise they started following him by turning in midair. Sasuke tried to sidestep it and he dodged Kiba, but got hit by the other cyclone as he was propelled painfully to the wall. Although they didn't get direct hits like the last one, As Sasuke was a bit more careful now and he decided that he needed the Sharingan, he got the occasional nicks as he was completely on the could feel the curse mark trying to spread. Kakashi also noticed, but decided not to interfere just yet. Sasuke decided that it was enough. He had to use his jutsu, because just with keeping his Sharingan active, the curse mark was spreading. What will one jutsu do? Just as Kiba and Akamaru began to charge at Sasuke with their Getsuga, Sasuke charged back at them. He jumps through a gap in between the two cyclones of destruction and spun facing towards them, while going through hand seals. Kiba and Akamaru were in a daze since they just crashed into the ground, not expecting Sasuke to find a raging weakness in their technique so quickly. However, what surprised and horrified Kiba was that Sasuke had marks spreading across the left side of his face. Katan, Gukaku no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Fireball Technique. Kiba was horrified at the humongous fireball flying towards him, and he had no mean of dodging it. Akamaru, however, was determined as tackled Kiba out of the way, but he himself couldn't avoid the fireball completely. Akamaru poofed back into his dog form, and he had pretty serious burns on the lower side of his body. Kiba gasped in surprise. "Proctor, my dog needs medical attention," Kiba yelled. "I can't do that. We can't help one of you. If you want the dog treated, you have to forfeit the match," the proctor replied. "That's crazy," Kiba yelled back. "So, what's it going to be, loser?" Sasuke said with a smirk as half of his face was covered with the strange marks. Kakashi was about to take him away, but the match was almost over, so he decided to wait. "Proctor, I give up," Kiba said as he sighed. "You did the right thing. The winner of the match is Uchiha Sasuke," the proctor yelled out as Sasuke was rushed out by Kakashi. After getting medics, the proctor announced the next match as the names randomly flashed on the screen. Everybody gasped as they say who would be fighting in the next match. It was Naruto versus Lee. The Rookie 9 knew Lee was very strong as he beat Sasuke in a spar in the beginning of the exams, but they also knew Naruto was no pushover, especially Sakura. Lee, though, was looking forward to this fight. Naruto was supposedly the strongest genin of their class, being able to beat Sasuke in many spars. Many of the Rookies 9 didn't believe Sakura, but Lee had a sinking suspicion that Sakura wasn't lying. However, he wasn't sure if he himself could beat Naruto. As he walked down the stairs, he got a good luck from Tenten, which boosted his confidence a bit. Naruto was walking down the stairs with an impassive look on his face. They both entered the battle arena, and all eyes were on them. Naruto, the enigma of the Rookie 9, said to be stronger than Sasuke, was fighting one of the most prominent genin of last year's rookies. This should prove to be an interesting battle, maybe the best out of the genins. "Begin!" the proctor yelled out as both rushed forward to start a truly amazing taijutsu match. To the all of the genin, even Sasuke, they both just disappeared. Both of them clash in the middle of the arena, starting a fierce taijutsu battle. Lee goes for a right hook, which was blocked by Naruto's elbow, and Naruto retaliates with an uppercut, sending Lee into the air. However, before Naruto could continue with his assault, Lee rolls with the punch and does a backflip and lands safely on his feet, smirking. Lee charges in with a Konoha Senpu, Leaf Hurricane, and Naruto jumps over the initial sweep and catches Lee's leg as he was about to finish the move with the signature roundhouse kicks. Naruto then proceeded to throw Lee at the ground and crushes Lee's rib region with a kick. Lee, wanting Naruto off of his ribs that were hurting a lot, grabs Naruto's legs and hurls with all his strength in the opposite direction. Naruto, having quick reflexes, just spins in the air and lands safely on his feet. "Lee, I give you permission to take them off," Guy yelled from the stands. "YOSH, Naruto, your flames of youth shine brilliantly. I will also return the favor by fighting seriously," Lee yelled out ecstatically. Lee started taking off his weights and hurled them to the other side of the arena, leaving huge dents on the ground, resembling small craters. Everybody in the room at that point gasped in surprise, except for Kakashi and Guy. Naruto raised his eyebrows in slight surprise. "Wow, he must have pushed his body to the limit. My weights are a bit heavier, sure, but I have QB to heal my body almost every day. This kid truly is a genius of hard work," Naruto thought with a slight smirk before narrowing his eyes. It would do him good if he took the fight seriously. Lee nodded and bent down as if to run, before shooting off towards Naruto at tremendous speeds that even some of the low-level jonin could not keep up with. Appearing right in front of Naruto, he started off with a roundhouse kick at Naruto's head, which was ducked under, before quickly righting himself in midair and went for a sweep kick. Jumping over that, Naruto was surprised when Lee, in a split second, righted himself yet again and hit him with a vicious kick at his chest, sending him flying. This all happened in the span of 1 second. Damn, his reaction speed is much faster now. I have to be careful, damn it, Naruto yelled to himself. Also, he moves way too fast for me to form hidden signs for jutsu. God damn it. I have to rely solely on taijutsu as I am not fast enough to use jutsu. I have to work on my hand sign speed. Naruto growled a bit in displeasure before disappearing and reappearing in front of Lee, sending a haymaker at his jaw, which was easily blocked. Naruto followed it up with a quick swipe with his left hand, and a quick roundhouse kick right after that. Lee had to act fast, blocking his swipe and ducking under his roundhouse kick. However, the slight smirk on Naruto's face unnerved him. Before Lee knew what was going on, he felt a hard kick connecting to his back, and looking back he saw another Naruto. Not giving Lee time to think, the real Naruto hit Lee into the air with a kick. Naruto's clone followed Lee up and landed a quick series of strikes to his ribs, shoot, and elbow joints before kicking him down to the ground, hard. Lee had to act fast as he got up immediately and backflipped multiple times to gain some distance between him and the blonde. Again, this all happened in mere seconds. Panting harshly, Lee knew he got careless and he got screwed royally because of that. He could feel his shoulders and elbow protesting as they creaked uncomfortably. His taijutsu style focused on the weak points of the body, not going for brute strength like his. It also didn't help that Naruto also had just as much as brute strength as him. Although, he could have swore that Naruto was using the Goken in the beginning with his kicks and strong punches. Lee's eyes widened as he realized Naruto was proficient in 2 different styles. He had to take this very seriously if he even wanted to win.
Keimon I.
Gate of opening release. Lee yelled out as blue chakra began swirling around him and a layer of a green aura surrounded him. Naruto raised an eyebrow at this. He thought that Lee could not use chakra, yet what was this sudden increase in power? Naruto instantly went to the royal guard stance, hoping to be on the defensive until he knew what this Keimon does. Lee shot off toward Naruto at tremendous speed that even he could not follow with his normal eyes. Cursing, he quickly activated his Jujutsu, covering it with a small Genjutsu. He saw Lee rapidly approaching towards him as the Sharingan gave him a future vision, predicting Lee's straightforward kick to his chest. Quickly channeling the chakra needed to block attacks, he blocks at the last second, canceling out the chakra of Lee's kick. Naruto smirked. This style was very beneficial. By channeling the same amount of chakra in his hands and feet to block the attack, he can easily block and negate the offensive action by removing the chakra as he blocks. The problem with this style is that one needs amazing reflexes because you need to block in the last second, when the chakra is sent out during a punch or a kick. However, with his Sharingan this is slightly easier to do. When the chakra is sent out, one cancel that amount of chakra with his own, and the chakra of the person is sent into the air as neutral chakra that can be used for devastating counterattacks. Naruto loved to use this style, for the pent-up chakra collects and collects until he can use amazing releases of chakra that destroys the opposition. Lee, recovering quickly, tries to catch Naruto off guard with his speed and starts to disappear and reappear all around Naruto. But to his great surprise, all his efforts are blocked. After a while, he finally notices a gap in his defense before he moves in and launches Naruto into the air. He continues his assault by flinging Naruto around with multiple kicks and punches before finally hitting him high into the air. Following him up, he appears behind him and wraps him around in his arm bandages. As they start crashing to the ground, Lee calls out his technique, but was once again a bit wary at the smirk on Naruto's face when he was coming down. As they were about to crash into the ground, Naruto yelled out, "Royal release!" All the pent-up chakra that he had collected was blasted out, explosively sending Lee flying. Everybody cringed as Lee was sent hurtling through the air and crashed painfully on the wall. Naruto just smirked before grimacing at his injuries, wiping some blood off his mouth using his hand. Lee got some seriously good hits on him. Naruto thought it was over, but to the shock of everyone, Lee refused to give up and got up.
Gyumon I.
Gate of healing, release.
Seimon I.
Gate of life, release. Lee yelled as the blue chakra once again blasted out around him in a swirling vortex, once again creating the green aura. However, this time, his skin had turned red, adding to his already beastly appearance. Naruto grimaced at the thought of him having more power, and he decided to actually let go. He did not like the fact that a genin had forced him to do this. He would need to up his training. He made a half-ram seal and yelled, "Gravity and weight seals. Fuin, KAI." Seal matrices appeared around his body and released themselves, and everybody had their eyes widened to the size of dinner plates as they looked at the amount of seals he had on his person. Naruto flung his arms and legs around, as if to test them, before he nodded and smirked. "Give me your best, Lee," Naruto said, making a come-at-me motion with his hand.